Okay. So, a couple of champion pools to keep an eye on before we hop in the draft. Actually, let me swap her over so we can see when the draft gets started here. So, definitely don't want that. There we go. Okay. Looks like they're about ready to start the pro draft, so we'll keep an eye on that and kind of interject bans as we go along. So, Autumn, you taking a look at any of these teams and have any thoughts as far as champion pools or what picks or bans we're looking out for going into Game 1?
So I have, I've actually watched the games between Spaceman Smith and Squirtle Squad. I cast them early on. A thing to note about Squirtle Squad is they will try to fight. Mm-hmm. They will try to fight hard, and they will draft towards it as well. Now that came back to bite them against Spaceman Smith, obviously. Otherwise, Spaceman Smith wouldn't be having a perfect season. But against other teams, if you're not ready for a team willing to fight, you gotta watch out. And it looks like the bans are already coming thick and fast. Yi Carry is here, has already had the Yi banned out.
Yep, I don't think he's gotten that pick a single time this season. I think that's been banned against him all 8 games they've played so far. So no surprises that gets taken off the board right away.
And Jace being hovered right now, we'll know in about 8 seconds if that's going to be a ban. Nope, it's going to be a karma. So that's support ban, but also technically mid, and if you're in bronze, also a top ban. So
yeah, so I don't think Zishui has played that karma at all, so my guess is that it's a support ban, and it's we weren't able to scout Lightning and understand his pool as much, but my guess is that's definitely a support ban. So we see the karma taken off right there from Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, Jinx coming alongside the Yi there. A nice, powerful hyper carry. That's just a way to get a team fighting 80 carry off of the board there, and it also helps alleviate a little bit of a late game timer, more or less, for Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, so Jinx is one of Cesarius's most played champs, or is in fact his most played champ, at least in solo queue play. In competitive, he's only picked it 1 game out of the 8 they played so far, so has opted for some different ADCs, but the comfort level he has with that champion is enough to where they're going to take it off the board. And Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about Mordekaiser for a while. The champion is busted. To give you an idea, anyone that remembers old Poppy, he does that 1,000 times worse. He will remove your jungler or AD carrier or wherever from the game and beat them with their own stats. Now, alongside alongside the Mordekaiser, we have a Syndra.
Yeah, so Syndra ban, that's going to be taken away from Nerdy Panda's mid. It's Vrivniv. Yeah, it's one of his most played champions. Right there at the top, has taken it 1 game in competitive, and is just kind of a lane dominant pick, so they're definitely going to want to take that off the board. Not many surprises in the Draven ban coming out at the very end for Nerdy Pandas.
Yep, powerful early game carry, snowballs like no other. Also, just an all-around toxic pick. Draven is scary, guys. Draven's really scary.
Yep.
Sivir, though, first pick up. Nice scaling laner. Terrifying in the front to back. So we already see that gear towards the team fight. Nautilus being hovered, quite likely to pick. Yeah, they're...
Yeah, so the...
And yeah, they're gonna lock it in.
Yeah, the Sivir is an early look at a potential team fight comp, which, like you mentioned about Squirtle Squad earlier, Autumn, they do like to take fights. They are a team fight team, and so locking that Sivir gives them the agency to do so with ease from an ADC position that you normally would be unable to have that agency from.
Yeah, it also unironically provides a little bit of safety from this Nautilus, who has been terrorizing the bot lane over the last couple of patches, and that's a Gangplank to go along with it. So scaling for scaling so far. Yep. Nautilus, decent upfront tank and engaged. Gangplank doesn't really want to be fighting. He does prefer the split push more in the fight, but he's useful in one later on. and he can be anywhere on the map with his ult presence.
So comfort picks coming in from Nerdy Pandas, as you can see, the Gangplank Sticks and Crons, his most played champion in solo queue, has actually taken that 2 out of the 4 games that Nerdy Pandas have played in competitive. So no surprise for him to lock in that comfort earlier, avoid getting it banned from him in the second round. And then Nautilus, by far Free Cell's most played champion. So comfort definitely locked in for Nerdy Pandas. We'll see if they develop a team composition for that. But Rumble there, and then Soraka lock in for Shuttle Squad.
I said team fight. Here comes the team and the fight. That is a lot of power in the Rumble there, a lot of AoE damage, and really just a big threat. And with Soraka, those threats ain't dying.
Yeah, Rumble...
Done properly, you cannot burn through a Soraka's heals.
And that Rumble's, despite how much we've seen it in mid and jungle and solo queue, that's going to be top. Karen Franz did get his hands on that pick the very beginning of the season. I believe it was game 1 of week 1, and absolutely dominated on the Rumble. So it's been banned from him, I think, 4 or 5 more games. So finally getting his hands on that one, it looks like comfort for both these top laners. The Soraka you touched on, but the Twitch is going to be locked in for Nerdy Pandas here.
Yeah, there we go. The scaling hyper carry. That's what they want. That's some nice late game insurance. A Twitch is pretty much an assassin once he gets his couple of items there.
Yeah, so
his itemization's really not even been touched with the 80 carry changes. He pretty much only benefited from them. And speaking of, well, as we move into this final draft phase, Orianna follows the other mages.
Yeah, so Orianna going to be taken away from Zishui. It's a comfort pick for him. He's picked it, I think, 1 out of the 6 games that those guys have played. So seeing the team fight composition that Squirtle Squad is developing here in their draft, Orianna would be a great pick to go along with that. So they're going to take away that team fight. And Lissandra is a comfort pick being banned from Varivniv. It's his most played champion for sure, and he has picked it a couple of times. So some team fight champions being taken away.
There. Now, alongside that, they're hovering the Nunu and Willump. Not so sure if this is going to be a ban or not, but he is a very strong ganking jungler.
Yeah, and
not so strong in the late game, and there he goes. He is banned, so no snowballs for anyone. Fun is not allowed, guys.
Yeah, Butterfreelo has picked up that Nunu a couple of times, and Nunu, of course, one of the top tier junglers, at least in solo queue here. So whether he brings the same level of play on the competitive or not, we haven't seen too many times, as his Nunu has been banned. This is not an uncommon thing, so won't be playing that. He's got a couple other junglers he can go to, but we'll wait to see the last ban here from Squirtle Squad.
Looks like it is going to be the Rise. That was a recent rework. He's a little tankier than he was previously, but he is still Rise. He is still very scary, and in competitive play in particular, and team play in particular, Rise is pretty much always strong.
Yeah.
On the note, yeah, he was reworked again, guys. It's Rise. What do you expect?
Yeah. Zishui has actually... I'm sorry, not Jisui.
I like that hover, and Sejuani locked in, so that is a lot of engage now between 2 tanks.
Mm-hmm. And they're really kind of setting things up for this Twitch here. We'll probably talk a little bit more about the Twitch Nautilus lane as we go on, but a lot of CC to enable the Twitch to continually hitting his enemies with the spray and pray. Definitely good synergy there. And the Trundle, a good counterpick to the Sejuani there. That's probably going to be going in the jungle, I believe, since the Rumble is already probably going top.
Good for Nautilus as well. So wherever there happens to be a tank, Trundle's happy to fight into it.
Mm-hmm.
He also is a very good ganker into specifically Nautilus because of the pillar. And that is Nico coming in quite possibly for the mid lane.
Yes.
So we're going to be seeing some AP destruction here probably.
So it is going to be mid lane, and I actually have played against Zishui's Nico. He is very good at the champion. He will go that, what is that slow auto attack? Glacial Augment. He'll go the Glacial Augment into the, I don't even know any of these items. I barely build them. The thing that shoots the little blue things out as your...
Glacial into Spooky Ghosts probably, or
yeah.
Actually, no, I think that might be a Hexic GLP.
Yeah, the GLP. But that's going to be utility Nico build and Zoe to counter for lane dominance here. That's going to go to Nerdy Panda's mid Varivniv. So he's played a few games on Zoe.
We haven't seen, but we're not seeing much. But Zoe is Zoe, and we all know it. We all hate it. It's terrorized its solo queue for its fair share.
Yeah, Zoe,
she's still strong.
Yeah.
She's a very strong champion when she gets her picks.
She did fall out of favor a little bit as Silas started getting more popularity, and the flex picks at MSI were a huge thing. You wanted the Rise, you wanted the Silas, the Aurelia, and so he fell a little bit out of favor. But definitely a good lane, dominant champion, but Nico can handle her own in that lane. I've definitely played both sides of that matchup, and As we hop into the client draft, we still will have a few more minutes to discuss what these teams have picked and banned so far. So, anything popping out to you right now, Autumn?
Well, so that statement I said there about team fights early on, it looks like both teams are going the same mentality here. This is so Squirrel Squad does want to front to back a little bit. They're going to have somewhat of a hard time doing it, but what I think their idea here is they're going to take the Trundle for a little bit of early power and actually use Trundle to take Sejuani's stats, use him as a frontlining tank for the time he's in his ult, and just try to barrel through them, because once you got a Sivir and a Rumble, there really ain't much you can do.
Yeah.
Nico providing a lot of security on those flanks and also threat as a potential flanker or even just straight pick. That does give them ways to set up. It does give them a bridge into that late game from their early game, which is rather weak bot side.
Yep.
They are not going to be the strongest lane bot. They're going to be pushing, but not necessarily going to be strong.
Yeah, so we didn't talk specifically, or you mentioned briefly, the specific Trundle Sejuani counter pick. We have seen that a lot of pro play, so if you've been paying attention to some of these LCS and LEC teams as they play this combo, you're not going to learn anything new, but for those of you who haven't been keeping up, Trundle, his ability to subjugate a Sejuani who's got incredible resistances, can, even after the Aftershock, take the Sejuani into negative resistances and can absolutely allow your carries to batter on her. So it's a good pick, specifically for that matchup. I do believe that is why they selected it. The Nautilus and Sejuani setting up the Twitch, though, is something we already mentioned as well. Having the Nautilus in the lane at level 6, you can CC an enemy for so long with the your dredge line and then into your ultimate and the staggering blows that stun any target that you hit for the first time in a while. And you can enable Twitch to just auto there for free for so long with the CC that Nautilus has.
And you also will just live for a long time between your shields, any heals you can get in lane as a Nautilus. You're just gonna live forever. Now, that said, again, the Trundle comes into play here because Trundle can make Nautilus a little less relevant. Specifically with his pillar, Trundle can sort of just, like, if Trundle ganks that lane, Nautilus is going to have a real tough time getting away because he can end up just dredge lining right into the pillar, and then you're kind of stuck because now you have a Trundle on you, and, you know, Soraka and Sivir are not pushovers when it comes to actually fighting.
Yeah.
So they are going to have to be aware of that. The bot lanes, I generally don't expect too much to happen bot lane. It is possible. Twitch is something that is a little scary. You do want that shut down early. Twitch is one of those champions that if you see it, he's not allowed to farm. Ever. You don't want that champion getting gold.
Yeah, and you're looking for the nerdy pandas. They're going to be shoved under tower, I do believe, because I know Squirtle Squad's, there's Sivir and Soraka bot lane is definitely going to want to try and push out and avoid taking fights. They have the option to freeze the lane if they really, really wanted to put the Nautilus and Twitch a little bit forward and set up ganks. But I do think the Sivir and Soraka are going to be pushing in this lane. And you're going to be watching out for a Nautilus hook onto Soraka. They're going to want to focus that champion down, as Sivir does have the spell shield to counter that engage. So those are specific things we're going to want to look for in the bot lane. Mid lane, it is an interesting matchup. Nico does have the tools to deal with Zoe, especially when Zoe hits 6. Her movements are very predictable when she's trying to...
Makes her a good setup for getting stunned there or getting rooted down. And again, it's really just, if you look at it, it's just really good gank setup. So whereas like a Soraka Sivir, going back to the bot side for a moment here, doesn't have the greatest gank setup, Nico is very scary because you can just sit there in lane, just harmless 1 minute, and the next thing you know, there's a Trundle in your lane, you're rooted down, pillar comes up, and you're getting bursted.
Yep.
So you got to be vigilant there. You got to be warding not just sides of the lane. You got to be warding pretty far back into the river before you see that coming, because those ganks can happen fast.
What are you thinking about top lane here, Autumn? This we haven't talked about this matchup specifically. Obviously, not a lane we see too commonly, but Six and Kron's his best champion, and I'd say Carl Franz's best champion so far. So both these guys on extreme comfort picks.
I'm gonna favor the Rumble's push early, which does put him at risk there, and Rumble's another champion, so if we have kind of lanes where they want to focus ganks onto it, I think top lane will be is a potential gank focus for Nerdy Pandas. Sejuani, even early, is still very scary. She synergizes well with Gangplank. So to get that extra stuns, to get that extra CCs down, and Rumble is not a particularly tanky champion.
Yeah.
Even through his shields and shields, maybe he can survive a gank and peel out a little bit, but he's not very tanky. So if he gets stunned, he is going to get bursted pretty heavily. Gangplank is looking to mostly to probably play Bankplank here. Sit back, use his range advantage on the Q to get some free silver snakes off of Rumble there, and just try to farm it out, get rich, get somewhat tanky if he runs grass, but he's probably gonna be running Klepto here, and just get to the Triforce, get to a couple other items, and absolutely rip through a Rumble if he dares show his face in a side lane.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting game. Side lanes are going to be... It definitely seems snowbally. Obviously, the Gangplank is going to be... he's not going to be in too dire straits if he gets picked on early. Neither's the Rumble. They both have great utility. Gangplank always consistent damage as you go into the late game unless he gets too far put too far behind. So, interesting lane to keep an eye on. Mid lane... definitely be curious to see this lane and if the junglers get involved or not. Nico definitely has the tools to survive ganks with her ultimate and her roots, and it's gonna be an interesting one overall. Autumn, any predictions for this game based on the comps or the standings or anything?
Well, I'm seeing we're already getting to the loading screen here, and I'm already seeing pizza delivery Sivir. So the little shout out to Sneaky, everyone, or well, not really, it's just Sivir, guys. But seriously, I expect blood. I expect this game to go fairly long. I expect them to want to try and fight. We have a lot of champions on this team, on these teams that want to farm it out first, that don't really want a lot of action early. So the team that can deny that is a team that'll probably come out ahead in the long run. Looks like, well, we're just starting to load in here. We are in a little bit of delay, as usual for the game.
Yep.
And I'm just going to speed that up. And we're out onto the platform now.
Yep. So, reminder for those of you who have were not here earlier on, we talked about playoff implications for these guys. The Squirtle squad, they do need to take one game in this series to secure playoffs. Nerdy Pandas actually already have the playoffs secured.
Yeah.
Now,
I want to interrupt you for a moment because we got shenanigans inbound. There's a 5-man stack coming straight for that Sivir. They're all waiting here. Nautilus is going to move up. And Sivir is not in a good spot. That's the hook. That's the stun. The spell shield out first. That's a flash. Gangplank first blood. So we're already off to a great start here. Gangplank did burn his flash for it, and he probably will burn his teleport.
Yeah,
No,
so
it looks like he's just going to back now.
So a well-executed invade.
Well.
This is a common path for red side teams to take, and unfortunately, Okoye not respecting that invade as she was standing in the very front side of the brush, which meant that she was a much easier target there. So always got to be watching for those invades.
Yeah, they go for some deep ports here. They might be fancying just throwing some out. No, just more wards. They are aware now that the Trundle is on the red side, on his red buff.
And the kill,
so really good information.
And the kill did go onto the Gangplank here, so he's able to get that early start on his Sheen with a longsword as well and 4 potions. So if Karen Franz had any early shenanigans in mind, now they are kind of they're going to be gone, as the GP does have the early item advantage here.
Yeah, Rumble there trying to though just burn him out, just a little bit of damage trades for now. Nothing too serious though. The junglers will meet. Both bot lanes did leech, or the bot lanes will meet there. Leashes were done on both sides. Both starting their bot side. Trundle though just did straight buff. Looks like he's doing wolves and probably to blue. Might consider or fancy a gank top side. Fight's going on bot lane though. Sivir or Soraka low, and Sivir just throwing out some damage. Overall, the trade kind of evens out.
Yeah.
20.
So
blue buff to Grump. She's probably gonna looks like she's gonna try for her buff as well here, and might also consider a gank top.
Yeah. So we're looking for the level 2 spike hit. Koi did take the spell shield at level 1, so he's going to get safely out of that one. But you'll notice them going onto the Soraka in these trades, which is the right call to make. If you get that Soraka low in health, it's a lot harder for her to sustain, as it is if you get Sivir low, because the Soraka does have the healing onto an allied champion. So,
Now, a bit of an update here. Trundle was the faster clear, so blue jungler advantage, and there's no ward in that bush. So Trundle looks like he's going to be moving up. There is a very much the gank. Oh, he's popped. That's the pillar. No flash on this Gangplank, by the way, so they have all the time they need. That is the orange. Counter gank coming in. They don't get the kill, unfortunately. So flash not punished, but Gangplank is low. He's going to have to start chugging through those potions and use his orange there.
Yeah, so good play from Squirtle Squad here to recognize that the GP had no summoners. So we have a little bit of a fight in the mid lane. And the bot lane, too.
That's a lot of damage going down mid. Going back bot side, bit of a dive. Twitch, though, gets the kill on Soraka. Just out of tower
And top
range,
lane's in
not
trouble,
much
too.
there.
Styx and Kron steps up way too close to the waves and gets taken out by Karen Franz, who remembers no flash on the GP, and that'll be an early kill for the Rumble. So action in all three lanes, and Squirtle Squad coming out on top there in the top lane, while Nerdy Pandas will take the kill in the bot lane.
So I said that they probably don't want much action. It looks like it's not going to matter. Ooh, the hook misses from the Nautilus. Looks like we're getting action regardless. So there is blood, there is aggression, and there is a Trundle getting auto-attacked by a Zoe.
Yeah, so CS really hasn't started to establish here, other than in the bot lane where it's about a wave lead for this Twitch, as they're going to continue to look to focus the Soraka and lane with the Nautilus Twitch combo. Free Cell and Cesarius, both of their summoners up, so they can do whatever they want to here. But Lightning and Akoya have theirs, but it's TP on the Sivir, remember, not a defensive summoner. So when it comes down to the 2v2, you're going to give it to the Twitch and Nautilus here.
Top lane fight there, just a little bit there. Quick trade and aggression as Karen just burns. Well, barbecues the man trying to barbecue, so it's a little awkward there. Shout out to the pool party. Gangplank, that's already half health. Karen Franz is silenced, but Gangplank can't do anything. He's going to go burn down again.
Yeah, and Karen Franz just running him down.
Strong right
we got a gank here in the bot lane.
The dive, Soraka goes down again to the Twitch. The 2 kills onto the Twitch already. Sivir, really no choice there but to not fight.
And still no summoners burned here from Akoya and Lightning. They still have the heal and the flash up from the Soraka and the flash up from the Sivir. So interesting that they're not choosing to burn these when they're in fatal danger. So 2 kills now for the Twitch, and this is not looking great for the bot lane for the Squirtle Squad.
Not at all, and as you mentioned, they're kind of holding their summoners in there. That's like some double lift levels of patience, you know, holding the flash at MSI, but you gotta burn it, guys. If you're gonna die, you know, you think you're gonna die, try to get out of it. If you know you're gonna die, yeah, don't burn it, but if you think you can escape, or if you will escape by flashing, flash. Now, that said, getting ahead in bot lane here is gonna secure an early Quad Drake.
And
doesn't really grant much combat stats, except for...
And notice
well, now there's going to be a fight because Trundle's burning down. Ooh, not yet. That's a hook flash. Nico stun, going for the Pop Blossom. That Nautilus is going to burn down, so it will be 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, well played from Zishui there to trade a kill with the Pop Blossom.
Yeah, that was
He was able to trade a 1-for-1 in a 4v1. So well played from her, but definitely Squirtle Squad stepping up a little too far after they had already lost the dragon. And I wanted to draw your attention to this ward here. A very good ward placed to spot the Trundle on the Krugs, which enabled them to know where he was so they could take the dragon safely. So,
yep, cheeky warding, good positioning from the Nautilus, be able to get that down. Lots of solid vision control going in from Nerdy Pandas here, and Squirtle. Well, Karen Franz is just throwing down with his Gangplank. You know, he has fleet footwork, so he has some sustain, which is good because he's already burned through all of his 4 early potions from that first blood. But Gangplank in trouble here. This is almost worst case scenario here. You got a very, very fed Rumble who just exists in your lane and is going to make your healing non-existent as he's basically just running him down.
Yeah, and the Gangplank is going to have trouble for a long time. He does have that Cole going. It is at still 75 stacks, so he does have to farm for another long. But looks like we got a fight here in the bot lane. Lightning in trouble.
Again with the Soraka, not enough. These fights are going so fast, I can't even get my spectator down there in time. That is how fast they are popping the Soraka.
Yeah, a little bit of
A bit of a possible engagement here. Ships pass into the night. That is a level 5 Sejuani, so not the greatest threat.
But Yikarian here is on the other side of his team. He's going to bop back over to safety in the mid lane, and things are going to be made right here.
Yeah, more pushes in bot. Sivir is incredibly low, by the way. They might fancy a tower dive if they had a minion wave, but Twitch does not really have the HP.
Yeah. So Lightning now level 4 to Free Cell's level 6, and they land another hook.
That's an ult going down on the Soraka, but the Sivir is the one who's the target, and she gets out.
Yeah, so unfortunately,
Lightning,
yeah, Cesarius not
dead
quite
this
in
time.
range
He lived one.
to do the damage.
He lived the gank, guys. He survived the gank. Soraka's doing good
But
now.
we got a 2v1 here top.
Oh, yeah, that 2v1. That's the Rumble ult down. Rumble is silenced. That's a flash. Waiting for the Sivir, or the, not the Sivir, the Zoe to
Oh,
do
the
it.
bubble.
Yeah, there goes the bubble. And,
Yeah, so good
that hurts.
good roam for Varivniv, able to come there in the top lane and secure that kill. Honestly, I think Karen Franz might have been able to walk out had it not been for the sleepy treble bubble that he was able to land. So good roam there from the Zoe, able to stay even in CS while affecting the map. So that's awesome. Anna's able to spot with the sleepy treble bubble there.
Yeah. That's a lot of damage down onto the Sedge, well, onto the gank. The Nico there, Sejuani
It's a fake
does
flash.
have ult.
Oh, flash is in. One more
that's
auto,
a
maybe?
good one. Oh, but that's not gonna be enough. Nico went the other way, tried to be cheeky, and got beat for it.
Yeah, nice, well played. And Varivniv landing every single skill shot in that fight. Looks like Lightning's in trouble again here.
Yeah, burning down, but they're...
Ooh, Cesarius wants it.
Twitch is trying. Doesn't have any more speed, but he does still pop up behind the Sivir and just make her life miserable. Does have to be careful though. And
Gotta fight in the top
there's really
lane.
not much they can do. Yeah. Action going down here. Initial gank. I'm gonna say failed there. They already have pressure. Sejuani does show up to provide. I'm not gonna say pressure really. She's kind of just there to say, "Hey, I'm here. I will fight you." And they decide it's not really worth a full engage.
Just dissuading the tower dive there that could potentially have come out. Karen Franz still holding onto the equalizer and subjugate from the trundle, so they definitely could have taken a shot at a tower dive if Yikarius here had not been here. So.
Yep. Zoe, Nico, somewhat stabilized. They are even in farm.
Oh, big fight in the top lane as Dixon Kron just gets absolutely turned on. Thought he could take the fight with the Gangplank cannon barrage, but Karen Franz just dropped the equalizer of his own and sent him packing.
And that's why you pick Rumble, guys. The giant red carpet of death.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely no way you win that fight in that situation. The Rumble is still very far ahead, even with your item advantage. And on that advantage, they're going to pick up the Rift Herald. So Squirtle squad stabilizing a little bit here. And possibly able to mitigate some of this advantage that's come up bot and mid.
Yeah, so essentially this is a story of two sides of the map, where in the bot lane, the Nerdy Pandas have been able to dominate with Zoe roaming down a couple of times. You have the Twitch who's already 3-0. They've been picking on the Soraka quite a bit. And now we're on their second dragon. This one's going to be a mountain. So definitely some more oomph on the power of the dragon going to the mid game. Top lane, won by Squirtle squad.
Some oomph there. Gangplank, Twitch, absolutely shred objectives already. Giving them a Mountain Drake, that makes their 20-minute Baron capability very scary. So Nerdy Pandas does have a clear win condition now. Just a little bit of play there from the Zoe, and not much else for it. Although it looks like there might be a potential. Nope, Sejuani goes the other way. They were probably looking bot again. But Squirrel Squad getting pushed in pretty hard there.
Yeah, so good vision control here from the Nerdy Pandas to set up these wards in the bot lane. They've got Dragon taken care of.
Gangplank does want to fight. He does avoid the sleep trouble bubble. Does get some damage down onto Sejuani. That's a lot of damage down.
5 men here, though.
Pop Blossom goes out. Oh, the hook misses, but Nico's gonna go down for it. Twitch is burning, but Triumph says no.
And Butterfreelo, he is on the wrong side of the map. Gonna have to look for the execute here, up near the base of Nerdy Pandas. Not sure if he's gonna get it. Oh, he does have the empowered
he has
recall.
Rift Herald, yeah. And he does get it.
Yeah.
Just in time.
Well played.
Very close escape there. Very close escape. And overall, not a good fight.
Yeah, so 1 for 0. So a lot quicker on the trigger where Nerdy
Trouble bubble though,
Pandas.
down on the Rumble. This might hurt. Almost hits him.
Pops the
That's
Ignite.
a lot of damage. That's that's just drop the ult to drop the ult. Gangplank though picks up the kill.
Yeah, so well played from Varivnev. He actually pretty much soloed out Karen Franz. As soon as that Sleepy Trouble bubble landed, you knew he was going to be in for a world of pain. It is 3-0 on this Zoe, looking towards the Luden's Echo here. At any time.
Though, the kill did go over to Gangplank. He came down, plundered that loot, and he's going to enjoy that sweet, sweet gold. Did try to do some damage onto the Trundle, but Trundle just kind of walks away and ignores the pesky little pirate.
Mm-hmm. All right, so quick stock here. We have about a 3,500 gold here for Nerdy Pandas, as their lead that they've established in the mid and bot lane has been significantly more than what Squirtle Squad have been able to do in the top lane. And that kill on Gangplank is so huge because that's going to help him recover quite a bit, get that Hex Drinker, get started on that Triforce, and with him nearing the end of his coal, he's going to be able to start salvaging this lane. And then you have a 3-0 Twitch and Zoe going to start carrying these fights. And
ooh, that was a almost very close shot there. Karen Franz doesn't really know where Gangplank is. Kind of just walks up, shoves the wave. Overall, I will say a little bit. Oh, that was cheeky. A little bit of a potential advantage here in the top side because there is a Trundle up there with a Rift Herald. They're looking to end this right here on first turret gold. There is no more plates, so that's not. I don't think that's a great Rift Herald, and it does go down before the turret falls.
Yeah, not sure if they had the opportunity to really use it earlier or not, because Butterfreelo did just recently pick that one up.
Really, Zoe does roam up for a potential pick. And nope.
Zishui is here as well.
Oh, that's a slow. That's a counter GLP.
Zishui in trouble here.
Down onto Zoe. Okay, that's a lot of damage. That just hurts. Yeah, Pop Blossom goes down. The shield doesn't help you. Fail Flash! That's, yeah, you're dead.
Oh, here comes the equalizer. Butterfreelo and Karen Franz want this.
That's a flash on the Zoe. Gangplank does try something. That's a lot of damage, though, from the Paddle Star. Getting a paddling there. Soraka ult, though, does come down. A wish is granted, and it looks like they're going to get out just fine.
Akoya in trouble, though. He is alone, and he is going to go down to this Nautilus Twitch combo, and 2 members already down here from Squirtle Squad.
It's a 2 versus 4 in the mid lane right now. It looks like they may potentially favor dive. That was a very close shot. Zoe takes a tower shot for that. Rumble coming in with the teleport. Does not have equalizer. This could be a dive if they really want to. It is now 3 versus 4. Nothing is hit so far, but that's a Zoe going in. Almost gets the kill. It's going to go down to the burn and the tower. Tower is not dead yet.
Yep, so I believe that was
shot, Nico.
I believe that was Lightning able to get off that silence that ended up rooting the Zoe. He just placed it right where the right where Zoe was jumping and was able to get the root there at the very end. So able to secure him at the tower.
A little bit of root there from the Nico as well, and then Rumble just burns her down. So now they're putting the pressure in 2 versus 3. This mid lane tower not going down just yet. No towers have been lost. And we're in for a bloody game, guys. We've had more kills than there have been minutes in this game already.
Exact same amount of kills as we've had minutes. 16 and 16.
I am blind. I apologize for that. I'm freaking blind. But it looks like we may have another kill here as Gangplank fancies something. Nope. Just gonna walk around the safe way.
Yeah.
We're at like I said, as previously my partner in crime said, we are at a kill per minute, and that's a potential push for mid that's shut down by the existence of so much wave clear.
So most likely,
that's a good bubble, and the spell shield isn't enough, but Nautilus doesn't capitalize because it does go up, so you can't really do much about that.
So we've got the next dragon on the board here. It is an Infernal, so both these teams gonna sit around here and try and establish vision control here. Looks like
minions in the top lane have killed the red side tower, so no one gained that local gold.
Yeah, looks like Nerdy Pandas are starting this off here.
Yeah, they're going to start this off, so it'll be tower for Drake. Nobody really benefits from a tower. That's a flash in, grabs it with a smite consume. Oh man, that's like not even smite and bite. That's a lot of kills though, traded in return.
Yeah, so despite the steal, very well played from Butterfreelo to pick that one up, but actually the Nerdy Pandas are going to pick up 3 kills off of that, so...
yeah, 3 kills and a mid tower, by the way, because the Twitch just walks up and Rat-a-tat taps it. And they're still going. They want to fight, guys. They're strong right now. Nerdy Pandas can smell blood in the water. They want carnage.
Mm-hmm. Even have the Sejuani down here split pushing a turret, and doesn't look like there will be any response from Squirtle Squad, so once Verivnev comes up here and pops us with a few empowered Zoe autos, I think that's going to be a second turret taken off of this play.
Yep, and Zoe gonna get most of that local gold too. Really nice. Twitch going up top side to fix that wave for them.
Mm-hmm.
Pressure though in 2 lanes and about a 5k gold lead over the Nerdy Pandas.
Yeah, so Nerdy Panda is likely going to have their bot lane stay top in order to get this final outer turret before pressuring onto those inner turrets. So you'll probably see the Gangplank go down to the bottom lane and pick up more farm for himself. He has completed the Triforce and is just 4 stacks away on that cull. So definitely recovering from what was a rough early game for him. Sejuani going into the Warmogs here, a great second item for her as she does get more damage based off of her health. So look to see that item finished up here shortly. 4-0-5 having a great game here. Zoe working on the Lich Bane.
So tanky on her own that the Warmogs really it gives Sejuani the one thing she doesn't have naturally, and that is HP.
Mm-hmm. Zoe with completed Luden's Echo now going to go into this Lich Bane here for some extra burst damage. Looking for the one shot. Akoya in trouble though here.
Gangplank. It's not where you want to be. Spell Shield probably won't save her. And the Gangplank picks up the kill. That's exactly where you want that going. Get more gold onto the Pirate.
Yeah, he cashed that in right about the same time his cull popped, so it's going to be a nice little influx of gold for the Gangplank. And let's see if
Sivers had a hard game for the Sivir there. You know, you've got that win condition of just a lot of items, and you're not allowed to farm at all this game.
Butterfly
gets hit onto Trundle. That is a potential ultimate. That's good. This Arctic Assault. Ult does come down. Oh, that is an ult onto Sejuani, though. This is such a tanky Trundle. The turnaround's coming in hard and fast. Pop Blossom, not enough. And oh, it looks like they're trying to potentially go for a re-engage now. No, they're just going to settle with the blue buff.
Yeah, so an interesting fight, and this shows the power of the Trundle, who's able to subjugate the Sejuani and be so tanky as he walks forward through these fights, but just not able to land enough CC from Squirtle Squad, and Verivnev is able to sneak out of there with his life and run towards his team. So all in all, no kills.
Sure the Trundle actually ended that fight with more HP than he started with.
Yeah, pretty crazy what he can do versus Sejuani.
Yeah, a little bit of a shot there on Rumble, but he's pretty beefy himself with some HP items there, and decides, no, he's just gonna not. Ooh, Luden's pop puts the Nico down to about half HP, and they're burning up these minions here, just basically looking to push. Zoe's doing Zoe things.
Yeah, and this is one of Zoe's strongest points in the game, is that mid-game where she's able to, teams are starting to establish a vision control around the objectives, and she's just able to sit on wards and throw paddle stars at will and take big chunks, especially if she's ahead, which she is. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Banshees come in at some point from either the Rumble or the Nika, although those are going to be delayed quite a bit as Morello is still trying to be finished from Zishui, and Karen Franz trying to get that Leandri's Torment down. So it's going to be a while before that magic resist gets built up, so Verivnev able to do a lot of damage here for the time being. We haven't talked even much about this Twitch at all, who is now on 2 items with a 5-0 score.
Yeah, and then that is Blade of the Rune King and the Renan's Hurricane. Very potent combination, and that is potentially a dead Zoe here.
Verivnev in trouble here, yeah.
Very much a dead Zoe as Karen Franz burns her down for her aggression. And now Trundle is getting turned on to Soraka, though very low here. There is a bit of a flank. Does not go down. Gangplank does not get the kill.
Oh, Twitch is
goes
down.
Out. He carries here, though, goes in for it. Gets
this Trundle.
himself. He's just so tanky.
They're going for the
It's
Soraka, though.
literally the tanks left. The rocket does go down, so the healing is gone. Trundle ultimate worn off here, but that's still a Sivir, and Sejuani's passive is down, so her resists are also down, and that's what even were we looking at there? It's a 4 for 3, so it's not a clean ace, but it may as well be because the Nautilus can't do anything to really defend an objective on his own.
Yeah, so that was honestly one of the best fights that the Squirtle squad could have gotten. They were able to pick off Rivnev right at the very beginning before she could land any poke, and then it was just Trundle running rampant through the fight. Akoya had to take a long path back around, but was able to make it back in time. Cesarius on the Twitch also went down earlier in the fight, so great fight. It looks like they're going to fight over the second mountain here. TP in from Styx and Krons, and not enough people near.
It looks like, yeah, no, it looks like that Nerdy Pandas are just going to take that. Gangplank pretty much sitting there ready to try something. Nico poking in, seeing who's there. Drake advantage still heavily in favor of Nerdy Pandas, and that is double Mountain Drakes with a Twitch and a Gangplank.
Yeah, so now at this point the Baron does loom large there in the top side of the map. And so we'll see what Nerdy Pandas have in mind as far as setting this map pressure up, if they'll go 4 bot, or if they'll send the GP bot and pressure this Baron with the 4-man. So
I'd say definitely sending the GP bot, probably a good idea, as it looks like that's not what they're going to do. Gangplank just hanging out in the mid lane, so you're going to put your Pirate mid, your Rat bot side. Your Rat's actually Twitch is coming up here, so they're gathering. They don't really have a great amount of vision control, but they do have enough to potentially threaten Baron. And it looks like that might be their goal at the moment, as they are sending members up to that portion of the river.
yeah. Alright, so it looks like they're gonna try and set up this
Squirtle
Baron
squad,
vision.
5-man mid, yeah. Squirtle squad, 5-man mid. It looks like they are aware of the potential Baron threat, and they are moving as a group. That's a Sleepy Trouble bubble.
Yeah, and notice this vision. This vision from Nerdy Pandas. It's all on the bot side of the map, so they're going to want to start moving their pink wards actually up towards the Baron. Otherwise, the Squirtle squad is going to be able to walk around in a spot they shouldn't. Ooh, Trouble Bubble lands.
That's onto the Soraka, but doesn't manage to hit her. She still gets chunked for half her HP with just the empowered auto, though. So that's the power of a Lich Bane, and that's a lot of damage onto the Soraka. Now, I would like to point out that Nerdy Pandas does have control ward in the pit, but cheekily, Squirtle Squad has a ward in the bush. And that's relevant because oftentimes what people do is they'll try to put like a ward at the entrance of the pit there to try to hit maybe those two sides. Or what they'll do is they'll ward the back of the pit. If you put a ward, vaguely speaking, in the bush, as it's getting cleared out now, or on the side of the pit, you'll usually see them enter the pit, and that tips you off enough to know that Baron's being started.
Yeah, so you can see they're starting to move their vision up here, and Squirtle Squad is going to have a hard time contesting the actual river. They can keep their wards on their side of the jungle.
A very risky move there for Sivir. She's lucky no one was there to risk or to punish that potential face check, as Sivir was just checking in on the Baron pit. Blue buff does go down to Nico, so no real fights over that just yet. We've actually had a couple of good few minutes here without a major fight.
Yeah, I saw pings going down to the bot lane. It's likely that Nerdy Pandas will try and send one member down there. It just looks like it's going to be Styx and Krons on the GP running down there to start to set up the split push, because they're not getting a whole lot done in the 5v5.
Sivir, very aggressive. That is the ult thrown down.
Yeah, Equalizer not doing a whole lot there.
And yeah, neither did the Trundle Pillar. In fact, that really was kind of just, I don't think that was really very well thought out.
Yeah, and you see the GP walking up now. I think that's the call. With the Equalizer down, that Nerdy Pandas might just move straight towards the Baron and look to start a fight. That's a huge tool on the side of Squirtle Squad gone.
On the
and they're going to go right on it.
Yeah, on the hunt, Pop Blossom's still available, though. If they engage, nope, they're backing.
Trundle and Sivir are down bot. This is going to be a free Baron.
Yeah, it is very much a free Baron. That is a big mistake. They don't have the vision. They didn't recognize the threat. Rumble does go up and just drops the ward and leaves. You gave up the Baron. Nice work, Nerdy Pandas. They are going to try. It looks like to look for this kill, but they're not going to find anything, as Karen Franz knows. Don't be there.
So it looks like
push Gangplank versus Rumble.
Looks like they're gonna have some bags here as Twitch is gonna reset, pick up more parts to his Infinity Edge. Gangplank gonna go back as well. Sejuani getting started on the Renoons, but we got to fight in the mid lane here for Rivnu trouble.
Ooh.
No, never mind.
Zoe's fed, guys. Zoe's fed.
Yeah.
That's scary. That's a Sheen. That's now a Lich Bane after that kill. Two items and some boots. She's actually got a Dark Seal with 4 stacks right now. So we probably won't see that become anything, but that's a very, very fed Zoe. She's dangerous to really any would oppose her. That's getting real close there. Rumble, who's overheated and silenced himself. Kind of what you gotta do in the face of a Baron push, and Nautilus kind of just gonna lay a little bit of a smack there. Nothing really too terrifying, but the siege will continue, and they're gonna have to back off this turret.
Yeah, Akoya has now respawned, so they can defend this inhibitor.
That was a very, very good stun.
Oh, Rivnu trouble.
Down. That was aggressive, and she paid the price.
Oh, and the squad want to continue. That's big equalizer, so much damage.
Equalizer, very well done there. Gangplank ult does come down. That's a lot of burns, but Twitch rat-a-tat tearing through them. Only Sivir is left alive. The turnaround was fantastic. They're going to lose at least an inhibitor for this.
Yep, so we highlighted the equalizer, but an outstanding ult from the Sejuani to actually keep the carries at bay, so they couldn't jump on the members that were damaged by the equalizer. So it was a great stalling Sejuani ultimate, and enabled the Twitch with some space to actually start carrying the fight.
Yep, start some space there. Gangplank ultimate to slow them down. That's a flash under tower. Sivir forced to flash away, but it's a Sejuani. She can tank the tower all she wants. Doesn't really matter. Tower's going to go down. Inhib's going to go down. We may actually see them consider a push for the Nexus turrets here.
Yeah, the Squirtle squad is actually up now, so they've got Karen Franz coming up in 1. He's their last person. So they're going to back out and grab the Cloud Dragon here, and should be their 2nd Cloud and 4th overall Dragon for Pandas as they take this one on the way out.
That actually makes it really scary, because that opens up Elder as a potential game-ending threat. This will be the 5th Dragon of the game, so the next Dragon will be Elder Drake. Actually, no, we're going to get an Infernal. Holy cow, we're actually going to get 6 dragons, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if
about that.
Yeah, I remember that early first dragon being taken at level 4, I think, by the Trundle, but Freestyle might be caught out here.
That many. Now, a 2nd Infernal does give potential here over to Squirtle Squad. They did steal that early Infernal Drake. That does keep them somewhat relevant. But remember, the first Drake of a type does have the most effect. So if Nerdy Pandas exercises their control, which is pretty much a given at this point, and if the game lasts long enough, that's going to be a Twitch with extra 12% bonus AD.
Yeah, and second...
That's a Zoe with 12% bonus AP.
And second Infernal Dragon, not actually that good on Squirtle Squad. Karen Franz, Zishui, and Akoya are the only ones that would be utilizing it since the Trundle's building full tank. And even then, Zishui's not really going much of an AP build. It's kind of utility. So bonus percentage AP is not maybe as good on her as it would be a full damage building champion. But still be beneficial, but not quite as insane of a win condition to come back from.
Yep, bot lane tower here finally going to fall as Nerdy Pandas sets up a really strong push in the bot side. And they're just going to be able to threaten tower, really. That was a good potential engage there, but they got out just fine. Gangplank is a Gangplank. He's actually decently durable at this point in the game. So you really kind of got to commit to killing him. Now, Squirrel Squad has managed to keep their base relatively clear, despite the auto-pushing mid lane there, but their attention mid does mean that we're going to get some time bot. It's really just Nautilus versus Soraka, and Pillar comes out, and Nautilus hooks away.
Yeah, the rest of Nerdy Pandas rotating around to the top to get this last inner turret, or the standing gold. Sejuani ult
does come down. That's painfully destructive. That is a very big shield, though, onto Nico, but doesn't matter. Zoe gets the kill in the end. Gangplank also gets a tower. That's a lot of gold.
Yeah,
that's a lot of damage as
nice
well.
Little
Really
jukes.
Good ult. Really good ult.
Nice jukes by
Sejuani there.
Zishui. I've been pretty impressed with his Nico jukes, but just not able to do much in the 1v3, especially when you're not doing a damage build. So you really want your team to capitalize on your utility, and they weren't really there at the time. So
Nico though does go down, so the inhib and bot, or the top side inhib goes down, and it looks like, well, not quite yet. We don't quite have the Drake spawning just yet. Baron is going to come up here, though, in a couple of seconds. Does come up exactly. So that's now very much a threat. And Squirtle Squad is responding in kind by trying to clear out what vision they can while they know Nerdy Pandas is backed off. Now, the bot side tower does still stand. So it's not the farthest walk to try and defend them and defend Baron.
yeah, we'll see
But
if
they're not going to start here.
we'll see if
That's a
Squirtle
fight. That
Squad-
is a That's a sleep coming down onto Rumble. This is going to be a lot of damage. Nope, he manages to get out just in time.
Yeah, so Squirtle Squad able to get in there and put down some vision, but not looking like they're going to be able to defend it at the moment, as they do have to go back and deal with the waves. They did get the Scuttle Crab, however, so that may buy them another minute to a minute and a half of vision around that Baron. And they are going to see...
It's not going to buy them anything, though, because they're just going to start the Baron.
They are going to see Nerdy Pandas start this one up.
This is an invitation to fight. That is down onto the Trundle. Ooh, Rumble took that shot. He took a lot of damage.
Oh, huge Gangplank damage.
Big crit. There goes Soraka in the back. Rumble burning down. Sejuani taking damage as well, but not more damage. They're dissing
Gangplank.
Nautilus goes down in the back, but that is a 4-for-1. Actually, 4-for-2 ace as Twitch goes down. And they're going to teleport. In fact, they're just going to end the game.
Yeah, so Nerdy Pandas didn't even need the Baron. They're just going to win it off of two enormous barrel change from the Gangplank and just a superior team fight in comp. They're far ahead. They're going to walk in. TP leading the charge. Styx and Kronz and his squad are going to be picking up this...
GG's in the chat. The Gangplank was beaten. The Gangplank was bruised. But in the end, the Pirate plundered the win from Squirtle Squad.
Yeah.
I'd say good game there. Lots of fights. So it did pretty much play out like I would expect there. The team that was damaged less in the early game overall did survive. They did get their farms out. Bot lane got monstrously ahead for the Nerdy Pandas. Like, that was, I think that is the almost worst case scenario you can think of. And let's go take a look at the damage there. Look at that Zoe and Gangplank damage, guys. That is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, so GP able to hit his items towards the end of the game, and honestly, he was put down pretty far early, but was able to pick up a couple of key kills and get to those Essence Reaver Triforce combo, which was huge for him. So definitely a couple of huge barrel chains. You can tell he knows his way around that champion, and good team fighting here from Nerdy Pandas. They're able to pick up game one.
Yeah, very good team fighting. Just kind of take a look here. I like to point this out since I'm a support main, and that is the vision scores all around here. And aside from the Gangplank, who barely warded it at all, you are 38 plus across the board here for vision score now on Nerdy Pandas. Squirtle Squad did decent. Overall, better warding across... Well, overall good warding across all of the lanes, but they just were not able to establish as much vision as Nerdy Pandas was by just pushing in, getting control wards down, taking advantage of their stronger mid and bot side to absolutely control the jungle and the ability and the information they had.
Alrighty, so we are going to be right back after a quick break, and we'll hop into two, guys. Game two, guys. Alrighty, guys, we're back for game 2. Nerdy Panda is able to take game 1 on drafting a pretty impressive team comp with Gangplank, Zoe able to poke the enemy team down early on and steal a couple of quick kills before the fights even started. Twitch opening up in those fights, and big plays by these guys as a group, playing around objectives, securing 4 dragons, and almost a Baron, but they were able to end the team fight in the game before the Baron even happened. So well played to Nerdy Pandas. They're up 1-0, and it looks like we're going to get that second draft started underway as I bring my play-by-play caster Autumn back into the chat here, and we're seeing Karma taken away so far from these guys as they respond with the E-ban.
So far standards, no adjustments yet. Again, just basically respect bans.
Yeah.
And Mordekaiser, he's probably going to be banned for a while. I don't expect to see Mordekaiser show up almost ever.
Yeah, Karen Franz was actually talking a lot about that Mordekaiser, and sounded really excited to play him in the chat right after he was released. So I imagine Nerdy Pandas want no part of that.
Yep. Looks like here we got a few more seconds. So this could be where they change some things up, and no, they're just going to continue to ban the Draven.
So I don't think we've changed any bans since game 1, if I'm correct here.
Not yet, and we've even gotten them in the same order. Now, I would say, yep, there it is. They are going to remove the Twitch. So they're protecting their bot side a little bit.
Yeah.
But that does open things up, because that means the Syndra is available.
Yeah, so that was the other final ban from Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, Nerdy Pandas, though, they're going to take the Sivir this time.
So it was first picked from Squirtle Squad, who were able to grab that first pick to try and establish that composition. But now Nerdy Panda's going to try and show him how to play the Sivir. And Zishui going to go on his Nico again, and the Rumble locked in for Karen France.
So the Rumble did good work early, was actually relatively okay in the mid game. There just wasn't enough team around him afterwards to actually really finish out what the Rumble could start. So I think those are 2 really good picks there. That does establish a solid AP core. Now let's see if they finished out with more tanks or more damage, and that's a Gragas hover. I'm getting excited for this, and it is in. Gragas is AP, but he's also engaged, guys.
So I believe there's a good chance we could see this Gragas top. This is actually a Styx and Kron's pick. He did play it last week in their 2-0 win versus Paid by Steve. Did play that Gragas in game 1, so I don't know if Eucarius here plays that or not, but I think that could be a top lane Gragas. So we'll see if it throws Squirtle Squad off in the draft.
Quite possibly one other thing, and that is it is possible to be a support. Nope, that's a Lulu. That's actually that is not the best ganking lane. In fact, I don't think you can find a worse lane to gank for ever.
Yeah, not a lot of CC to set that up. And honestly, the Sivir and Lulu, they aren't going to really want the ganks. They're just going to try and get that farm, get the wave shoved in, get priority, rotate over to those dragons like they had been doing in game 1. So I don't think they're too worried at all about gank setup in this lane.
Not really. As a self-proclaimed Lulu spammer, Lulu really just wants to. She wants to fight a bit, but it's really because she wants to fight to establish health advantages, and then try to push through that with her Q and with picks. Amumu, though, locked in, and that's a little scary because that is some very simple point and click, throw the Q, hit the button, and everyone's stunned. Zoe, another ban taken off the board.
Lulu is Nautilus. Okay, so we got notification in the chat and in the in-game client. So that is actually Nautilus picked up for Nerdy Pandas, who are going to take that support once more.
Hey, that changed things actually quite a bit, because that takes the Sivir lane from a sit back, let's farm and let's poke and fight a little bit, to we're going in. Sivir can fight early when she has CC with her. Her damage is respectable. It's not great, but respectable. And Nautilus really just picks up on the damage where Sivir lets off. The bans coming through here: Zoe, Zillion, Rise. I guess we don't have another Z champion to ban.
Yeah, nobody plays Ziggs or Zed, so.
Yeah. Nope. Morgana is the ban as well, so they want to remove any potential for counter CC or the Black Shield. That's a good way to protect your bot lane there, and make sure that they just don't have a pressure advantage there.
Yeah, so I wonder what Squirtle Squad are going to save for their counter pick, because they have already taken both top and mid, presumably, unless they're flexing the Nico. But they've already kind of shown a big AoE comp here. So bot lane is going to be very important for them, as it was, unfortunately, the part of the map that actually lost the hardest last game. So they're going to try and pick a good bot lane. They've already seen the Sivir Nautilus, so we'll see what they answer. Thresh is going to be the first lock-in, as it goes back
Thresh
to
is
Nerdy
an okay
Pandas.
pick in the Nautilus, as he can disrupt the hook there, and he can make plays of own with his hook. This is Hook City. That is a thing to note. Thresh, a lot squishier than Nautilus, though. Early on, he's a lot squishier. He will be easier to kill. He will be terrifying and annoying late game, as the Vladimir is locked in, and that's all the more reason to try to land those hooks from darkness, because if you can hook him down and blow Vlad up before he can get away, that's a potential fight just won right there.
Yeah, so if we're thinking about the Gragas going top lane, that is likely then a Vladimir mid. Although we could be completely wrong.
That is a Zed. Nope, that is a Zed.
So the Gragas is in fact jungle. We were bamboozled all along. The Vladimir likely going top, and then the Zed mid into the Nico. So I guess we'll talk about that matchup in a little bit as we wait for Squirtle Squad's final pick, which would be their ADC here. And that's a lot of dive that ADC is going to have to pick into.
Yeah. I would almost pick Tristana here. That is a what? That is an Orianna hover.
So it is a Nico flex then, it looks like. So we were definitely a bit bamboozled.
So yeah.
We're definitely a bit bamboozled
very bamboozled there. They're very, very much bamboozled. Nico pretty good into the dive. Can be annoying and can make sure that people don't can mislead and misdirect. Show up in the lane, 2 Threshes is pretty darn scary because you don't know which one's actually going to hook you or not.
Yeah.
And then you got an Orianna, and you're an Orianna with 2 enabling champions here. You have your Mumu, whom goal is simple: get in, press R. But now you're get in, press R, and you have a ball with you. So Mumu wants to play some basketball or something. I guess he is really lonely. He's playing with himself. And you have a Thresh.
Yeah, so the Orianna actually a good matchup into the Zed if you're very careful with your items and your positioning in lane. If you're a little bit nervous about the lane, you can put a couple extra points into your shield. But as long as you have the ball on top of your head, you're going to get a little bit extra armor and magic resist. Well, armor being the most important, obviously, here. But Orianna, pretty safe pickup. Can go for a stopwatch, second or even first item if she wants to. So it does have some innate defensive abilities. You'll likely see a barrier or exhaust come from the Orianna. So, and
exhaust is like the bane of assassins everywhere.
Yeah.
That's just like the best way to shut down things like a Katarina. You're bringing an exhaust because she can't do anything after that. She goes in, she gets exhausted, she explodes. Same deal works with Zed. He may get his ult. He may get his ult off, but his ult on its own doesn't actually do all that much damage. It's everything else he does afterwards, and he will appear very briefly, or when he comes in, and you can exhaust him then. You can also ult whatever he just ulted, and he'll get dragged into it, and he'll die.
Mm-hmm. So the Zed definitely does have kill pressure in this lane, but Orianna not a bad answer at all for Zishui. So he's probably pretty happy to get that pick. Nico wouldn't have been bad either, but I think they wanted to throw that down in the ADC position to avoid the dive that will inevitably be coming from the Sivir and the Nautilus here.
Yeah, now this could also be an on-hit Nico as well, which would make sense, because there's not really much AD coming down.
Right, I think it kind of has to be.
Squirtle
Otherwise, Gragas and Vladimir, they're free to build MR. Nautilus is going to be pretty tanky there. Again, if you're just joining us, the Lulu is actually a Nautilus, so remember that that's Sivir, not bot lane there.
They are going through here, and I will say both of these, once more Squirtle Squad drafting for the team fight.
Mm-hmm.
Nerdy Pandas, it's not as team fighty as it was last game. Vladimir, definitely a very good team fighter. Nautilus, very good team fighter. Zed kind of just wants to be left alone until he wants to kill you.
Yeah, so Squirtle Squad obviously have their team fight composition in order. Now, the one thing they have to do this game that they did not do last game is hang on to their lanes. And by that, I mean bot lane and mid. Karen Franz on this Rumble not really going to have a problem. The Vladimir could pose a little bit of an issue early, as he does have unlimited sustain and harassment abilities. But I think they do have tools to handle this bot lane a little bit better. The Soraka got focused down a lot in game 1. Lightning wasn't able to do much on that. As of course, we remember now Mycroft Holmes is joining us after Lightning did support for him in game 1. So Squirtle Squad happy to have their support back, and we'll see if they can even things up here. Mid lane, we'll see how well Zishui is able to play this Orianna. It is a skill matchup, I would say, because the Zed does definitely have that kill pressure. So gotta play it safe and get your farm.
Barrier, by the way. Thank goodness Riot finally fixed the spectators issue there with not showing summoners on the.
I remember
on
that,
side of the
yeah.
screen. That was an old one. A lot of ignites, and one thing that immediately sticks out to me as concerning here for Squirtle Squad, they don't have teleports at all. So Rumble took ignite for the lane. Thresh has ignite also again for lane. And just no real ways of actually gaining a teleport advantage. There's 2 teleports on the side of Nerdy Pandas there between Rumble and Sivir. Sivir's is obviously more for lane control. The ability for Sivir to back whenever, because you kind of will get beat up pretty early in most lanes.
Yeah.
Is key for her. And Zed taking his ignite, well, Zed can move pretty quickly if he wishes, and he can kind of just be all over the place. Vladimir teleport scares me as somebody who has played against, with, and generally speaking, around Vladimir's in the past. A Vladimir with a teleport is a very, very terrifying thing, because someone can just drop a control board in the middle of a team fight, and surprise, there's a vampire in your back line.
Yeah, the one thing the Squirtle Squad do have, though, is they do have Engage. So they are able to, provided that Karen Friends plays really smartly, and they're discussing objectives and big fights that they want to take beforehand, they're able to actually just walk the Rumble down, who... If the gamble of taking Ignite and winning lane pays off there, they can just walk the Rumble down and pick a fight on their own terms whenever they want to. So we'll have to be keeping an eye on them, a minute and a half before objectives as they discuss how to set those up best, because that's kind of what you have to do without a TP in the top lane, and they're hoping it'll pay off. So,
a little bit of update there. Thresh did update his exhaust to ignite, or his ignite to exhaust. Got those flipped around a bit there. So there is a source of exhaust now on the team. That's important because that can work on both the Vladimir and the Zed. Whichever one is more fed, you can exhaust that guy. He'll go in, and now he's a lot more vulnerable because he's slower, and he's just doing 30% less damage.
And they actually do have defensive summoners and tools to stay alive in the spot lane versus a Sivir Nautilus who were able to get onto them a lot. Ikoya actually took TP last time on his AD carry, so now that he has the heal and Mycroft Holmes has the exhaust, they're actually able to probably defend this lane a lot better, which will be really good for them going into the mid stages of this game in which their team fight comp will excel.
Yeah, and well, really, kind of as we just wait for it to load in, I expect Squirtle Squad here to now know very much what they're getting into, what they're going to be up against, and it looks like they were a lot more prepared this time. They brought much more engaged. They brought the ability to peel back. That's actually important because one thing their comp couldn't really do last time was it couldn't actually peel if the fight turned sour or didn't start on their terms. They kind of just had to make a break for it.
Yeah.
And as we saw, it really doesn't work when the thing that you're trying to peel off of you is a Sejuani.
Yeah.
Now, that said, looks like we got a couple more seconds here as we start to load onto the Rift. So just quick shout out to Twitch chat here. Hit us up with hashtag NPWin or hashtag SSWin and tell us who you think is going to take home the victory.
Yeah, and reminder, if you're just joining us, we have discussed playoff implications for this game. Squirtle Squad, in order to secure their spot in playoffs, again, top 4 are going to make playoffs, the bottom 2 will not. So in order to secure their spot in playoffs, they do need to take this game. If Nerdy Pandas wins again and 2-0s them, then Squirtle Squad will go 3-7 and will require the last game of the week between Ravenous Kumquats and the Dandelion Knights to end in a tie. So if Squirtle Squad can't pick up this game, it's going to be out of their hands as to whether they make playoffs or not. So they're definitely going to want to grab this game and tie this series up 1-1. Nerdy Pandas, they're feeling good. They've already secured playoffs. They're just going to go for this last win to make sure they get second place and that second seed going into playoffs. So those are the implications in this game. So if you're Squirtle Squad fan, you best be rooting now because you'll want them to grab this game and not have a chance of falling out of playoffs. So heading in the game here.
It's looking dire, guys, as I'm seeing a lot of support for some nerdy-looking pandas. So I guess chat has spoken, and we will see who bears out as we have now loaded on Summoner Rift. And immediately into a pause. It would not be a casual game without a pause.
Yeah, so not able to see exactly what the issue is here. It's probably in chat, but don't have that pulled up right now, so.
Well, we're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, it looks like we just got a player in the loo.
You know, the last time I saw a player do that, the team lost a ban.
Yeah, I don't think people are too worried about that at the moment.
Yeah, no, we're not. It's already happened last game. No, that actually was a really interesting thing there. That actually happened during an LCK. It was an LCK match, actually, back when they were still doing the OGN, and I believe it was, what was it, SPO TV? Man, that was a while back. That was actually just last year. Good times. Very good times. Very fun matches. If you ever look up some of the old VODs, we got some really, really good games and some really good teams there. Some classic League of Legends back there.
What region was this?
It was LCK, actually.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I think it was before they did the logo update, too. Back when, the star was like 90 degrees upwards and the eagle was kind of off center. Yeah. That's a weird logo.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're still holding the pause here. Not seeing any updates as of yet.
Yep. We'll see if Nerdy Pandas actually make a move again. They did invade last time when they were on red side. They went down through the bottom and were able to catch Koi off guard and take him down early. So we'll see if they have any shenanigans prepared for this early game.
I'd say a Squirtle Squad should be ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll definitely be on high alert after they got caught off guard last time. So, I wonder if they fan again or try a stack or something.
Says hi, Ansem. And while our play-by-post, while our colorcaster does not have chat turned on, I most certainly do. And teams say hi, guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye. No chat.
Chat is banned.
Yeah, in-game chat. Actually, now we can keep an eye on the pause here.
Yeah, not you, Twitch chat. You guys are fine. Twitch chat's fine. Really, I think we've kind of just discussed at this point really what they both want to do. It is still very, very heavy flavor of team fights here. Very heavily seasoned towards team fights, I should say. So now I'm thinking about food. But overall, I honestly don't know which team to favor on this one. I think Nerdy Pandas has a terrifying potential, especially if the Zed does pop off. As we're gonna get 3 seconds here to 1 game. Starting back up, all the champions are loaded in.
Yeah, and like you were discussing, the win conditions are very different between these two teams. Squirtle Squad want to get out of the laning phase in a good spot so they can transition into good team fights, whereas Nerdy Pandas, they're going to want to win their lanes so they can swap into a 1-3-1 with the Vladimir and TP and the Zed in the side lane. That's going to be where they're most effective. But we do have the shenanigans this time from Squirtle Squad, as they may either be stacking or looking to step up. I think they're probably stacking. In case Nerdy Pandas try to invade again.
Yeah. No extra wards. So they're going to send in a couple there. No one notices them just yet.
Yeah, I wonder if they're here to actually take the red buff or just look for people.
It could be both here, as they pretty much just circled there, and now we got a couple staying back for the red buff. Some wards go down.
Ooh, they do actually spot the Sivir there, and I think she spots them back. So
yeah, that was a little interesting.
No harm, no foul though.
Yeah, a little bit of a circuit there. They didn't really drop any wards at all. So not really much early information. There is a blue buff down though, so they would, or a ward down on that red buff, so they would know if it's being started, but they suspect now probably just going to be a normal lane start. Sivir is already in lane, so that should hint that Gragas started top side and is going leashless. Does smite the buff, and the junglers are pretty much off to the races at about the same speed. So
Yeah, ooh, early hook.
yeah, it's some pretty decent damage down there onto the Nico. Oh, here's something you don't see every day. The Relic Shield Thresh. You got to be really good with Thresh on Relic Shield. Because you're pretty much last hitting, except you're last hitting like an AD carry with absolutely no items and are hilariously underleveled. So, yeah, Relic Shield Thresh is pain, guys. Very painful. A lot of fights here going on in the top lane. Vladimir and Rumble. That's a lot of damage down. The Rumble is burning.
Gragas is here, though.
But here comes a Gragas. Flash. Body slam. Rumble flashes out. And no more damage is going to come through there.
Yeah, so well played from Karen France.
That is both, actually. Ignite and flash down on Karen France. So I'd say the gank worked. The gank very much worked. Rumble, Vladimir still has his flash, and Rumble is very damaged. And Gragas, that was worth. I'd say flash for both summoners is a pretty good trade for the jungler. Ooh, a little bit of fight possibly breaking out here. No, I'm getting bamboozled by the Nico clone.
Yeah, so it is the on-hit Nico with the press the attack there and the Doran's Blade to start. So that will be, like we mentioned in pick ban phase, that will be the AD Nico. So see what items they transition to as Free Cell and Cesarius are now level 3. We got a 2v2 fight here as the Sivir is now in trouble.
A lot of damage. Thresh. Oh, you hate to see it, but there goes the first blood down onto the support. That's a flash. The Mumu takes a second. That is absolutely painful. Now, that's not really where you want to see the gold going. They can be thankful it didn't go to the Nico, but that's still 2 assists down onto a Nico and a kill down onto the jungle.
Yeah, but that is Squirtle Squad picking up 2 kills in a lane that they lost last time. So getting their lanes, this bot and mid lane, off to a really good start was crucial in their win condition, as we discussed earlier. So being able to pick up those 2 kills as Sivir does TP back to lane. Gets off a little bit of damage.
A bit of a trade back. This is potentially dangerous. Thresh Lantern does save life, guys. Grab the Lantern. Like, seriously, as a support main, please grab the Lantern. But no, they stabilize. It looks like no more fights breaking out here. Zed is pushing pretty hard into Orianna, but he's actually down CS. So for his effort, he is low.
And you do expect that.
Yeah.
You do expect that from the Orianna early in the range matchup to be able to win out on the CS.
Yep. So after that kill, though, or after that trade in top lane going in hard.
Butterfreelo, keep an eye on mid, though.
Mid. Oh, Zed tries for it. Oh, Triumph.
Yeah, Veriv actually able to outplay in the 1v2.
He might be going for it there. If he gets a little more energy, Orianna is at some serious risk. And Gragas is speeding his way in there. Yeah, not quite. That could have been serious threat there.
Yeah. So a bit of a greedy flash from Butterfreelo and the Amumu to go forward without the CC. Did actually take a turret hit or 2 there, and that's why Frank was able to turn.
You hate to see it, but a little bit of the BM there with the emote dropped. Zed doing Zed things, guys. Just ahead in CS now, up a kill. So it's not absolutely monstrous. It is still recoverable, and as an Orianna lane, you kind of expect to die at least a couple of times to an AD assassin, especially one that can kind of just ignore the existence of your ball, if he really wishes to.
Yeah, so you see some Zeds go into the Hex Drinker here, but looks like Vrivniv is actually going to go straight for the Ghost Blade there. So not really too worried about this magic damage at all coming out from Orianna and Mumu. So bit of a aggressive build that we'll see if it works out or not. He's got the red buff and actually getting close to level 6. So Zishui with barrier and flash up still, but definitely has to watch out for the all-in at this point.
Yi carry is hanging around.
There's the ulti.
Yep. So that's half his HP, but there's no jungle support there, so nothing really to burn the flash. That's not the end of the world for the Zed, but that is a massive amount of his threat gone.
Yeah, and now Zishui, though, is going to have to plug through both his potions. We do see a fight here in top lane. His Styx and Kron's flashes on the Vladimir. Not really able to follow it up with much damage in the 1v1, and Karen Franz just kind of walks out.
Yep, but now he walks right back in and burns Vladimir for a little bit of damage. But it's Vladimir. He'll heal that back up.
Yeah, Synchron's maybe misjudging his damage
good
just a little
slow,
bit.
though. Good slow. Now, both champions are level 6. Rumble still has his ult. Synchron does not. And that's a lot of damage going down. And weirdly enough, the Vladimir lost the HP trade there.
Yeah,
He's ahead of wave, though. But this is a cannon creep, so Rumble has the opportunity here, if he does it right, to get all of that. And Amumu is hanging out bot side there. Can threaten the Drake, but with no mid-prio, I would not recommend doing that at the moment.
Yeah, so gold is about even right now, 10, a little over 10,500 to each team. Neither of the lanes have died yet, mid and bot, for the Squirtle squad, but they are down a little bit of CS. Zed is up 8 as he goes for a big trade there into Zishui. The Shuriken on the other side will force Zishui to recall now.
Yeah, it does get pushed out. Orianna, decent wave clear, but even then still loses most of the minions to tower. And Zed has his ult again, so he very much could consider a dive if he really fancied it.
Yeah.
Looks like that's not going to be the case. He's just going to let the Orianna recall. She's going to come back, pick up a Seeker's Arm Guard actually first, which is probably a smart move.
Yeah, so regardless of whether or not you're going to build that Zanya's first or second item, it's always a good idea to pick up the Seeker's Arm Guard early. Very cost-efficient item. You're able to stack that for a lot of extra AP and armor when you start farming. Again, you do get passive armor and
Zed
AP.
roaming down, though. They do have a little bit of a minion push here, so it is quite possible they want to go for it. They don't have vision. Pop Blossom does stop that fight before it starts, but Silver still goes down. Zed is in the back line, assassinates Fresh. Nico also goes down, so 2 for 1 in favor of
Nerdy Pandas.
Actually blanked there. Yeah, Nerdy Pandas. 2 for 1
Yeah,
in
so
favor of them. Even in kills, slightly ahead in gold now because of some CS advantages across the lanes.
yeah, so it's an unfortunate time for Mycroft, Holmes, and Okoye to actually go aggressive there because they did have the Zed waiting in the back lines as well as E-Carry is here on the Gragas. So it's a good thing they were able to trade 1 kill back into what ended up being a 2v4. So Zishui going to get a little bit of farm and time on the turrets. Don't think she's going to be able to take a plate here as Varivnev has arrived. So with now
I should also note during
score.
that fight, Vladimir and Rumble did have a little bit of a brawl in the top lane, which the Rumble did burn his ult and lost the fight. He had to go back, and Vladimir just sort of sits there, does Vladimir things. Doesn't really need to leave lane at this point. And there are 2 Threshes in lane. That could have been really dangerous if both of them had thrown their keys at the same time there.
Yeah.
Alright, decent amount of damage. Good chunk onto the Orianna, but you can already see the armor coming in there to negate the lethality.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's different about this game from last game is, as we got a roam here from mid lane.
Very dangerous for Zed. He has to flash. No amount of shadow hopping will do you any good.
Karen Franz is here, though.
Can't get away from it. That's a Rumble. Zed goes over the wall, but there's a Nico there to say no. Ooh, that's a good ultimate, and Nico picks up the kill. Very well played there by Squirtle Squad to pick up a little bit of revenge and get the shutdown onto the Zed.
Yeah, very unexpected roam here from Squirtle Squad, as I don't think their bot lane had any idea, or Nerdy Panda's bot lane had any idea that both the Nico and the Thresh were going to be roaming. So Vrind definitely caught off guard as he does burn his flash and still goes down in the end. But
now there is a lot of gold, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's a Sivers dream right there. Alone time in a lane with the turret, and plates are still up. 4 plates. Massive, massive thing there. Hemo Plague does go down. A Mumu ult goes down. Doesn't anything, but the pool happened anyway, and Vladimir's not really in a very good spot there. Good shield. Karen Franz burdens of Vladimir down. Squirtle Squad will get... Well, a lot of damage. That's a very, very dead Orianna.
Yeah, here comes the other bot lane roam, though.
Oh, yes! Good shot from the Gragas ultimate. And then Nautilus doinks her on the head.
Yeah, so a lot of things have happened here in the last couple minutes. So Squirtle Squad were actually able to roam up and take down Varivniv and also get the Rift Herald at that time, but it was traded for a ton of plates in the bot lane. Don't think the fight is over as Flash forward.
That's a very good ultimate there. Sivir goes down. Thresh is incredibly
Mycroft
low.
Holmes so low.
Burns
One more auto.
down. Yeah, Zed ult onto the Nico, and yeah, Nico just explodes.
Yeah,
So,
initially that was a good
mid.
fight, yeah.
Yeah, good fight, very good fight mid. Potentially good picks, but they stay just a little too long, and they get murdered for it. Really, the Zed is monstrously fed right now. That's 4 turret plates down in the mid lane as well. So it is spread across 3 people, only one of which is actually a carry, but that is still a lot of threat down on the mid turret. Sivir once more gets some sweet, sweet alone time with that bot lane tower. So she's gonna get actually, yeah, she actually with just a minion wave here, she might just potentially have this turret. She does. That's 5 plates to a Sivir, and that was solo gold and solo plates. First turret going down to Nerdy Pandas. Sivir's well on her way to just being a monster in the late game.
Yep. So as we take stock here of some of the items, Zishui able to pick up the stopwatch, and it looks like she's going to be going straight for that first item, Zanya's with the Zed, who has almost completed the Ghost Blade, and it looks like it could be a 1v1 here.
Very, very good ult. That's a very good ult. But that's a Gragas. That's a very threatening Gragas. Still gets the kill.
Wow.
Oh,
very nice solo kill.
Wind-up. Yeah, Clockwork Wind-up coming in clutch there. Very good ult. Very good shield timing and ball control, really.
Yeah, well played to the Orianna. You hardly ever see a solo kill from the Orianna's perspective, especially when the Zed has 3 kills, but nice stuff from him.
Yeah, Zed just got too greedy and got clapped.
Yep. Butterfreelo here in a position at the enemy Raptors. It might look like he's going to try and get over into mid, but actually
no,
he flashes out. Yeah.
That's not what you want to be seeing there.
Ultimate knocks Karen Franz. Yeah, he's going to Lantern out. Yeah, so, ooh, never mind. As I'm about to start analyzing, we get a little bit of engage here.
Yeah, it looks like they potentially have a fight. Nautilus versus, well, that's really the Nico, but it definitely looks like a Thresh. But the Thresh is kind of exactly where you don't expect him to be.
Yeah, we'll see if Squirtle Squad is able to keep up pressure here in mid with Varivniv going into the side lane, and same with Cesarius, who's clearing top.
Yep, they do ping out the Zed. Zed is hanging out in that lane with a control ward, so there's no vision on him. And the only thing really there is a potentially squishy Orianna, which looks like, First Fancy's here. That's a collapse, though. That's a
yeah, they're sending 5 men down to deal with the Zed. Let's see what fancy moves he's able to pull off.
All right, pop also not enough. Doesn't get hit by anything, and Zed kind of just walks away.
Yeah.
Nice try. However, in the mid lane, they get a turret for it. So they all collapse a little too hard there. Turret goes down. Mid turret goes down in favor of Nerdy Pandas, and looks like they're doing well. Sivir pushing up into this top lane. Turret plating now as well, but this probably will just be turret gold. Pretty much solo over to the Sivir, and the last time I saw an 80 carry split push this hard was Fnatic 2017.
Yeah.
That's a fight, though. That's a Vladimir. That does explode, so good kill picked up, but still got the turret, so worth either way.
Yeah, so gold lead is now right around 2,500 or just a little bit over 2,000 here for Nerdy Pandas, as they are able to pick up more farm on these laners. You can see Cesarius about 40 CS up on Ikoya. And Karen Fan's actually down about 10, but is able to pick up 2 kills for himself. So gets his items pretty quickly, and this game is a lot more even than the last one. And so we're going to start seeing the clash of the 2 different play styles as Squirtle Squad looks to group up and force fights as 5, while you already see Varivniv getting into the side lane and trying to create some split push pressure. So we're kind of at that stage of the game now where each team is trying to play their own style, and we'll see who comes out on top. Dragon coming up soon, and
looks like it's a Mountain Drake, which is very important here. I'd also like to point out, Nerdy Pandas has an Ocean Drake, not really relevant during most of the game, except during the portion of the game where Vladimir exists, and Vladimir just loves having even more sustain, just becoming an unkillable monstrosity, as he just kind of just ignores you, really. He goes in, ignores everything you do, ults, and leaves. And what can you do about it?
Yep.
As Nerdy Pandas, looks like they're setting up a fight here. They fancy a fight. That is a hook onto the Nautilus. He is still kind of squishy this late in the game. Does flash out, does get his thing. That's an ult down onto the Thresh. That's a teleport.
Sivir ult, they want it.
Burned by the Vladimir. Yeah, they are going for the fight. And it looks like it simmers.
Yeah,
So,
very conservative Vlad TP there to get in on, and it looks like they're just going to set up the 5v5 for the Dragon. Crucially, no ults burned from the Squirtle squad. And as
there
the
is
Zed
a
going
fight
in for the
going
Rumble.
mid, though. Zed's gonna kill him. He's dead.
Yeah, Karen Fran's
Rumble
not going to
is-
survive that one.
Yeah, you need a little bit of armor for that, and Zed is now just being an annoyance, as while they are distracted with the Zed, the Dragon is being taken out. So Zed rejoins his team, and Squirtle Squad retreats. That's 2 Drakes up, and the next Drake, well, looks like potential double mountain? Looks like it.
Yeah, Predator propped here. Ooh. Mycroft Home's going to have to flash, yeah. Have to flash from that Gragas cask. So, Dragon's here again. Yeah, Dragon's here again for Nerdy Pandas. They're going to go up 2-0. It's early ocean and another mountain. So, they've got objective damage on their side yet again this game, as they were able to pick up 2 mountains last game. So, we'll see if that becomes another tail here, just like last.
Yeah, I will say, Sivir is very good at burning down Baron. I mean, you just think of a Baron as a giant minion, and you just watch it disappear with a fed Sivir.
Yeah.
So, very real threat. Very real threat that they can just 20 minutes, everyone converge on the pit, and there ain't really much Squirtle Squad can do about that other than try for a fight. But to try for the fight, they have to see the fight. So we want to see some vision control set up from them. They do have some wards in the area now, but they will probably be dead by the time the Baron spawns, and most of the vision is still focused more or less around that river area on the bot side.
Yeah. So, item's not quite being completed for Zishui. He's kind of stuck in that halfway point between the Zanyas and the Luden's Echo that she wants so badly as well. So, I think they really want to try and get that first completed item onto her before they pick a fight, although it may just happen whether they like it or not.
A pick going on to
Hook on the Nautilus.
So tanky, but not tanky enough, as a Mumu gets the kill. The extra true damage burn proven to be very useful.
Yeah, and that is a shutdown.
And it was a rich Nautilus, too. Didn't get a chance to really do anything. He was just sort of CC'd to death.
Yeah, so you can see the fact that Squirtle Squad is very decisively grouping up as 5 and looking for picks when they can. Zed was still in the top lane, so wasn't able to respond to that at all, and so not a fight to be made of that. Butterfree looking for it. Spell Shield is down from Cesaria, says it is a flash pulled by the Vladimir.
Ooh, ult not enough. But that's going to be a counter engage there by Nerdy Pandas. And that's a kill down on the Sivir by the Orianna. Vladimir's doing Vladimir things. Zed doing Zed things. Good Zonias. But Vladimir will eventually go down to the Thresh. And
ooh,
so far,
Koya.
Yeah, surviving. That is the ultimate from the Rumble, who's, well, he was behind them, but he's no longer there, and Zed kills Nico. So, 4 for 3 in favor for Nerdy Pandas there.
Yeah, so that fight
does mean that they do get lane pressure, but that's not enough of them up for Baron.
Yes.
Crucially, the jungler and the AD carry were down for that one.
Mm-hmm. The fight started off really poorly for Squirtle Squad, as Butterfree did flash bandage toss in onto, I think, never mind, it was Mycroft Holmes actually flash hooked onto a pulling Vladimir, and they weren't able to get that kill right away, and then Butterfree kind of got taken down from the back. So it started off a 4v5, but Varivnev was not there on the Zed, so it took him a little while to enter the fight, and Ikoya actually popping off there on the Nico is able to secure a few kills for her, and not much worse for wear, Squirtle Squad here.
Yeah. Gold is much more even than it was last game. It's only about a 3,000 gold lead, so that is gonna help Squirtle Squad in their attempts to come back. But it does look like the Nerdy Pandas are now starting to focus around this Baron, around this key objective here, which will give them just so much control, as they are cleaning out vision, and Karen Franz are just poking the Baron, making the Worm mad, getting him to make people's lives miserable. Doesn't really do much other than it tells you, okay, it's not dead.
All right, so Orianna finally able to pick up that Loon's Echo, so sitting there with the Zanya's almost completed as well from those early parts. Unfortunately, Varivniv on the Zed is almost at his Black Cleaver, about halfway there in that third item. So his split push potential is very huge, as there's not really anybody that can 1v1 him. Ooh, nice little try there from Koya, but not quite able to land the blast.
Zed's gonna say I don't exist, and well, he doesn't exist when he doesn't want to. He was gone real fast.
Yeah, so you can see Karen Fran's actually building up to defend him in the 1v1 in the side lane. He is starting to take that Zanya's Hourglass as he does the stopwatch already. So keep on those 2 stopwatches from Zishui and Karen, as they still have yet to use those.
I think sparks more terror in an AD carry than seeing 3 Threshes on the screen at once, by the way. And that's what just happened there. That's a good engage. A Mumu, good ult. That's a very, very damaged Zed, and he can't get out.
He's just going to get taken down.
But
yeah.
The dragon is going down. That's a good bandage toss onto the Vladimir. They push
equalizer.
Flashes are done. Equalizer in. And Vladimir goes down. So it looks like Gragas might try something here.
Not going to be able to get it in time.
Goes down.
Huge team fight there.
Yeah. Back. That was an excellent pick into an excellent fight overall. A little bit of an overstay from Nerdy Pandas when they realized that their assassin was dead. So their biggest deterrent was gone, and now this mid lane power is going to fall alongside that.
Yeah, biggest deterrent for sure, as Butterfreela recognizes that, well, I mean, Varivniv has over half his team's kills, so went for that Zed, committed the ult, everything to it, and they were able to get a follow-up pick on the Styx and Krons as well. So they're playing this team fight comp very well.
They're fancying a Baron. They are going to start it.
Yeah, Styx and Krons, though, he does have TP coming out of base in 1 second, and this could be a contest. Yeah, it looks like he's going to pull the trigger on that TP. Squirtle Squad need to pull off.
They're going to engage. Immediately, actually.
Oh, Cesarius might have TP'd into trouble.
Sivir died. Yeah, Sivir went in for it, died. That's a good
Zed looking.
Proc. Zed goes for the assassinate. Vladimir gets the Orianna, actually. No one's died just yet. Vladimir or Karen Franz solo.
Ooh, nice little shield.
Running. Good little pool there. But Karen Franz is out unless someone wants to try something.
Yeah,
crazy, so.
Zed not going to chase, so looks like they're going to get out with a 1-for-1 as Cesarius did get taken down on the other side. So,
yeah, mid laner for AD. One of those is the Orianna, so that's some serious team fight utility gone for them. But having the Sivir dead is very, very important. That's a good hook into that one. Flay comes down. Nautilus is taking tower shots, and Nico's going to kill. Zed stole a red buff. Why would Zed want a red buff? Or not a red buff, a blue buff, I guess. I know I want a red buff there. Guess he's just pushing lane, getting gold. Overall, I mean, it looks like we've calmed down now. Lanes have stabilized a bit again, as the teams are just going to start pushing out here. Orianna and Zed in the same lane. Nico, Thresh, and it really just looks like a Mumu sticking to mid lane and Rumble on the side lane. The blue buff goes down to the Gragas.
Yeah. All right, so this game is now a lot closer than it was. Less than 1,000 separates these two teams. And now with the Baron looming large on the map and a Mountain Dragon now in the hands of Squirtle Squad, they're in a prime position to actually set up around this Baron buff and use their teamfight composition to maybe pick up a couple kills and take the objective. So Nerdy Pandas are going to counter by sending Zed in the bot lane, and we'll see if they're actually able to use this split push to effectiveness.
A little bit of a stack appearing here on the top side of the map. It is a couple of control wards in the Baron pit. Advantage, I'd say, real no vision advantage to either squad here, but the presence of control wards in the Baron, around the Baron area, does mean overall that Squirrel Squad have a better chance. In fact, they just cleaned out that entire pit area of anything blue. So, yeah, no real vision now for Nerdy Pandas. Squirrel Squad can attempt something cheeky if they really wish. Looks like they're just gonna set up for a potential flank. That is a hook down onto the Vladimir.
Here we go.
That's a good Amumu ult, and that is a good shockwave for.
Oh my goodness.
Holy cow, that's some damage going down onto Zed, but that's a lot of damage going back. Sivir does get a kill onto the Amumu. Orianna is actually in a really awkward place there. Wrong place, wrong time. Thresh gets a kill. Nico goes down to the Vladimir. Vladimir dies in the process as well. It's really just Orianna left, and they're searching for it. He wants it, and he'll get it. That's an ace for
Yeah.
Nerdy Pandas.
Yeah, so what looked
And
like a
that's a
really good
turret.
fight, what looked like a really
They're
good
pushing
fight
for
from
an
Squirtle Squad actually was turned on its head as Styx and Kronz was able to Zanya's a lot of the damage and get down his own Vladimir ultimate. So Sivir ricochets were huge in that fight, and that was just a very well played from Nerdy Pandas. They're able to take that, even though most of the ults from Squirtle Squad landed.
Yeah, very good job surviving there. That's going to be an inhib down. One for sure. They're not going to push out for a second, but that is a lot. A couple turrets, mid inhib. It's infinite pressure now, more or less to the mid lane. And that is control over the Baron pit. They did not have a lane prep top, so they didn't really want to risk trying Baron, even with most of their members up.
Yeah. So now we'll see if Squirtle Squad can actually get a fight they want again, because that engage was pretty good. I believe Butterfreelo's ult actually was only able to catch out one person. I do think Sivir spell shielded it, if I remember correctly. So hopefully for Squirtle Squad, they can catch more with that Amumu ult. And Orianna, now completed with that Zanya's, is definitely going to be looking to use that to dodge some of the big ultimates. Styx and Kron's Vladimir, Hemoplague did huge amounts of damage there, and honestly was a lot of AoE that we definitely underestimated from Nerdy Pandas.
Yep, I'd like to point out the Amumu was actually at 3 items as well, with his Zonya's Abyssal Mask, so even more damage coming down. Amumu is just a damage boosting machine here, which really helps your Rumble and your Orianna specifically, and a little bit of the Nico, as a lot of her abilities are magic damage based.
Yeah. And it's just going to make it a lot harder for Squirtle Squad, because they do have to kill these carries with this combo. Their team fight is all about this Rumble, Amumu, Orianna combo, and so if they're not able to get those kills right away, then they don't have a whole lot of sustained damage in this fight, or AD damage.
Yeah, that's a good pick on the Zed. He has to ult immediately, but that might not be enough because he pops right into the Amumu ultimate.
Oh my
Gragas
goodness.
goes down first.
Sivir's down.
To the Nico. That's there's literally only the Vladimir left. He's trying to get damage down. The Zed has to disappear. He's left all alone.
Holy cow.
4 for 1. They're very low, but they might have the hit points to go for this Baron.
Yeah, and
they
that was...
might be considering it, and they are. There's a lot of healing there onto the Nico. It's very tanky, but still relatively tanky Amumu. This is doable, and that Baron is burning so fast right now.
And that was such a good ult from Butterfreelo on the Mumu. He actually was able to time it.
Has some HP, but the Baron's already down. He's got to stop these backs. He's going to try.
He's rooted.
He's ult. Oh, he's going to go down to the Nico.
And Akoya lives. Holy cow.
Kills. Excellent team fight for Squirtle Squad. The Baron puts them back on the map there, but they still have a mid lane inhibitor.
And that is
still need to make sure that survives.
So big from a Squirtle Squad that Curse of the Sad Mummy able to catch the Zed right as he came out of the ultimate, so not able to do any damage, and just got taken down right away. Orianna Shockwave was able to pick up a couple, and Akoya able to keep hitting with that Nico damage coming out there. So well done from Squirtle Squad. They're able to pick up the Baron, and there's life for them in this game. They're going to look to pressure these lanes now.
I just want to say, most of those kills went down on the Nico, so the Nico was a little bit behind before, but after that, she's got items, and she is ready to Nico kneecap anyone that tries to fight her again. That is not a carry you want to fight right now.
Yeah, and this is definitely a flip from the last game. We saw the Sivir... saw Akoya's Sivir actually pretty far behind, and the game was ADC position was dominated by the Twitch from Cesarius, but now the shoes on the other foot as Akoya holds a huge lead on this Nico with 3 items completed, looking in towards that 4th. So,
yep, and it looks like we're getting some revenge here. Bot side turret going to go down first here as they just 3-man it with a bunch of cannon creeps. Really not much you can do for that if you are Nerdy Pandas. Just push out mid and pray. However, this little death ball here, 4-man death ball roaming through the jungle. Gragas is in a very bad spot. They are very lucky they didn't suspect him.
They're looking for the Vlad.
Instead, yeah, they are engaging onto him. Vladimir pool's already used. That's his Zonya's, but there's really not much you can do about that. Great stun.
So much
Gragas
CC.
ult for the party, but there's nothing you can do when that combo goes down. Orianna's going to back for a little bit here. Amuma's going to back as well. That's a teleport burned. It is from the Sivir.
Yeah.
So it is 3 versus 3 right now. They're just going to let the minions do the dirty work here. In fact, they're actually just going to back off here, and they can probably do something cheeky.
Yeah,
mid lane.
so the inhibitor being down from Squirtle Squad meant that Zishui did have to recall and deal with that. Karenfran's doing a good job of holding Varivniv in the top lane, has that Zhonya's completed along with 2 other items, so is able to clear that turret. So TP from the Sivir didn't mean a whole lot, as Squirtle Squad actually was not intending on pushing there anyways.
Yep, so they get a turret, they get a kill, they get the teleport out from the Sivir, which means she has to join her team now. She can't just sit there and split push.
Void Staff now completed on Zishui, as he is going to start looking to cut through some of that magic resistance from Zed, Nautilus, and Vladimir. So flashes are up on all Nerdy Pandas members except for the Vladimir. Yeah. Crucially, Okoye will not have his for another 2 minutes. Mycroft Holmes in about 1 minute, and then Styx and Krons for about 1.5 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on those summoners as all ultimates are up. As the Threshes is almost up back again, but looks like they're going to set up around mid lane, but keep an eye on the Zed in the flank in the top there.
You can try it again. I don't know if you really want to be going for this flank, though, even as a Zed. Because if you don't do it right, if you don't do it just exactly perfectly, they're just going to smack you again.
Yeah, he's definitely looking for the Nautilus and the Sivir to engage there, and then coming from the side once the fight is underway. You definitely don't want to go start first. As a Zed, or engage that, so.
Looks like Claude Drake's up, so they're looking to try to potentially use this Claude Drake as a little bit of a fight. You're just getting a little bit more of an advantage. Nerdy Pandas, though, they are going to ult in for that inhib. They want it. They want it bad. They are, however, now pretty much pinned in against their own base, so they might get inhib, but it's going to be a fight.
Yeah, not sure if this trade is worth it here for Squirtle Squad, unless they're able to flank around and look for a fight here. I think Butterfreelo and Karenfran stepping up, but
no,
yeah.
They don't go for the flank. They do get the Drake. That does get them some more movement speed, but that really doesn't do them any good.
Yeah, so they are able to secure it, but not sure if Squirtle Squad is going to be liking that trade afterwards. So they are going to have to defend that mid lane again. But Nerdy Panda's still pushing towards this top lane. Ooh, Butterfreelo once in. Not much going to happen there. As that's Aftershock and Mumu, not going to take a whole lot of damage from this guy. So.
Yep, and is it a Mumu? Mumu's not allowed, son. Get out. Don't want to deal with you right now. Very smart there for Nerdy Pandas to just back off. They got their inhib. They have their pressure back. The game is still pretty much dead even now.
Yeah.
And it will turn on whoever wins the next couple of fights.
Yes, exactly, because the next fight is either going to be around the Baron or the Elder Dragon. I'm assuming the Baron because it's a lot lower of a spawn time. The Elder Dragon is still looking to be about 5 minutes away. But the Baron now is going to be respawning in less than a minute. So we imagine the next fight will be situated around there. And I think you're right. Whoever does pick up that fight, if it's decisive at all, they grab the Baron or just go straight for the win.
Yeah, it looks like. I mean, not really much to get hyped about yet. They're just going to set up their waves. Spend this momentum, bide your time, get some extra gold, finish what items you can before this fight comes up. Because as we stated, the next fight is all of it. There's no other chance here.
Squirtle Squad fighting to keep their playoff dreams alive here. If they do secure this win, they are able to grab themselves a playoff spot. If they do not, they will have to wait for the last match between Kumquats and the Dandelion Knights at the end of this season in order to determine whether they get a playoff spot or not. So they're fighting for a lot here. And it looks like quite a few members here to defend this Zed split push in the bot lane.
Yeah,
but he's going in.
Going in. That's a good Zonia's from the Orianna. Zed ults. Oh, he almost gets caught out, but that's not going to be enough just yet. Never mind.
Oh, the heal, not enough.
And Nerdy Panda's going straight onto the Baron.
Yeah, huge play from the Zed here. Actually able to outplay in the 1v3 and get the kill anyway. So now with Zishui down, these Squirtle Squad have to be very apprehensive about taking this no-steal.
Secured. Gragas goes down, so they are denied one of the objectives at least.
Oh no, Karenfran's down.
Goes down afterwards. That is a Thresh. That's a very good Amumu ult, but that's 2 Zonias. Sivir looks like she's going to go down as well.
Oh, but the Nico.
A lot of damage. That's a good flash from Vladimir. So 2 Barons down for 3 members of Squirtle Squad. But that's just about the worst case scenario you can get. They managed to alleviate it. Some of it. It's not the absolute worst. It's not 5-man for Baron, and you've been aced. but
Yeah.
you're going to be dealing with a lot of pressure coming from that mid lane, a lot of pressure coming in from those side lanes. So they have a wave that's pushing in right now towards the bot side.
Yeah, so Squirtle Squad elected to take that fight because the Zed is out of the fight, even though he did get to pick up the solo kill onto Zishui. Veriv not able to be present for that fight, so it was a 4v4 overall. The problem for Squirtle Squad was they're missing a lot of their AoE damage, whereas the Nerdy Pandas were happy to take that fight as only their split pusher was down. So, well played by Nerdy Pandas, who were able to convert that fight, despite a huge performance by Akoya and Nico, able to pick up quite a few kills. Bloodthirster now completed, as these teams are going to reset and get back out onto the map. Baron buff secured here from Nerdy Pandas. Looks like they're going into kind of a 1-4.
Zed's going in for this fight, though. That's a lot of damage down on the Rumble, but Zed takes a couple of turret shots. Fancy's going back in. That's a lot of pain. Rumble does have damage burst. His ult is burned, and Zed is just going to push this turret down through the Rumble by threatening to kill him.
Yes.
That is a fake Thresh. That is not the real Thresh. That is the real Thresh, and you dodge the look anyway. Good job, Nautilus.
Yeah, so Karen Fran's going to have to give up that inner turret, but is it be able to step to the inhibitor and defend it? So, here comes the fight.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Ooh, Shockwave misses.
Almost gets into it, but the party cast comes in instead. Vladimir still pushing. Still
but
killed.
Sivir going top lane.
Zed going top lane. Sivir in top lane. This is going to be a race to see who can get back first.
Yeah.
As really, I mean, Karen Franz does come up. Rumble comes up, ready to hold off that Nexus, but
ooh, hook
really
on to Sivir.
Just a lot of damage there. Gonna go for it. Thresh does go down instead. That's an ult, and yeah, Orianna kills Gragas. Nico is doing a lot of damage to the Nautilus, and that's an inhib respawn mid lane, but there's now an exposed lane top.
Yeah, so that's
some damage onto the Nexus turrets. Actually, a lot of damage on the Nexus turrets. They are barely standing.
But crucially, that is the jungler down. Yikari is here, is not up, and Elder Dragon is on the map now. So they're looking for this Orianna to step out.
It doesn't look like they have it. Oh, Ori gets demolished. That is going to be Elder Drake.
Yeah,
pretty much just over to Nerdy Pandas, and that was their shot. That was their fight, and they really kind of just lost it.
Yeah, so as I was saying that about Gragas being down, they're able to set up a trap. Azisha should not have been up there that far contesting that vision by himself. He needed some more of his team members with him, but does go down in the end, and that's Elder Dragon over to Nerdy Pandas, who already have 2 dragons. So next minute and a half, they're going to be very, very strong.
Yeah, Baron not on the cards just yet, but that is an exposed inhib, a downed inhib, and 1 turret. Really, it's like not even 3 full turrets in there. It's like 1 1/4 turret that actually stands in the way of Nerdy Pandas and victory in this game.
Yeah. Zishui now respawning. He is almost at that death cap, so a few more waves from him and he'll be able to pick that big item up. As it's now going to come down to another team fight, and the Baron probably still 3 minutes out, so it's likely going to be fighting around one of these inhibs. Ooh, damage onto Cesarius.
Ooh, yeah,
wow.
Sivir does back away. Some pressure here from Zed onto this lane. That's a lot of damage onto the Orianna.
Yeah, and the Elder Dragon burning means she has to go back.
Yeah, they're doing their best to make sure this inhib doesn't fall.
Yeah, that Nico damage is really crucial at the start. It now means Cesarius cannot step up, having not built any lifesteal. She's got to play a lot safer and not challenge that inhibitor.
That's a good
hook on
Nautilus.
Root lands.
But he gets away. No, never mind. Mumu is just gonna make his life miserable there. That's half his health gone. No real. They don't really go in for it. They don't commit.
Yeah, Squirtle Squad can't commit because they know they have to go back and defend their inhibs. So smart play from them to not go all in on the support. They just got to go defend their inhibs and the crashing waves from Nerdy Pandas.
Gragas there trying to keep things going topside. Rumble burning down the minion wave. And Zed now has a Guardian Angel. So Zed is actually surprisingly infuriating to kill.
Yeah,
that's all the burst potential.
Oh, here goes Butterfleeto. 3-man ulti. This is it.
A lot of damage that goes down. That's a good kill down on a Nautilus. Their CC is gone. Orianna kills the Vladimir.
Zed
Amumu
looking.
kills the Sivir.
Yeah, it's Squirtle
like
Squad
not
pull the
enough
trigger.
damage.
They pull the trigger real hard. That's a Mumu ult, Orianna ult, and they go in with the Nico ult as well, and actually able to take 3 kills and stall this one out. Baron on the cards. Now is less than 20 seconds till this comes up. So let's see if Squirtle Squad can actually get out of their base and challenge this.
They are
Mycroft Holmes in
close.
trouble,
That's a
though.
lot of damage down onto a Thresh. He's gonna pull him into turret range, but you're a Thresh. Ooh,
Just
Zed
barely
close.
survives.
Very close, millimeters off. Yeah, the emote as you walk away, Zed, you know you messed up.
Yeah, and that Thresh is a lot tankier than he was counting on. So, but he's going to go back to the split push, as that essentially means, though, in Nerdy Panda's favor, that Squirtle Squad is not actually able to step up to this Baron because they all had to go defend the Thresh. So,
For the time being, though, I do actually favor Squirtle Squad, though, in the 4v5.
ooh, they've got the flank on the Gragas now. If they can take this out, this is huge with the Baron
Yeah,
coming up.
Turret does go down. Gragas does flash. His whole job now is just delay, as Zed can end the game potentially here. But it doesn't work. There's an Orianna. There's a Zed. Good Zonias. That's a hook. That's an ult. Zed is...
And there's
Zed's,
GA and one more auto.
Angel.
The minions are hitting the inhibitor. This is going to go down regardless. The root comes out, hits him right in time, and Hip does go down, though. So now what do Squirtle Squad do? They've got the Baron up on the cards. Karen Franz is standing there.
Yeah.
Nerdy Pandas are going to start it, though.
Going straight in. He's threatening. He does have his ult.
Yeah, how fast could Squirtle Squad get back on the map? Because that's just Karen Franz.
Not very fast. Karen Franz does go down. His ult is taken. His ult is gone. It is used. There's no more AoE threats for the time being. There's just an Amumu and a Thresh and a full health Baron.
Yeah, so he is going to push them off of the Baron, but now that crucially means the death timers are a lot less from the Gragas and the Zed, so it doesn't look like anybody's going to be taking that right now. It's a couple of good stall maneuvers made from Nerdy Pandas. The Squirtle Squad could definitely have grabbed that Baron and challenged if they weren't able to, or if Karen France didn't go down there. So.
Yep. And now, crucially, by the way, with this, even though Zed died, that is a bot inhibitor down, so that's the most pressure you could possibly get for taking a Baron. Between, well, there's one inhib now up, 2 inhibs up, actually. But the bot inhib specifically makes it much harder to go and defend Baron. You have to have someone pretty much there at all times.
Yeah.
They do have vision of the two, but it's pretty much Nico and Thresh in the bot lane.
And this is where having
tell which Thresh is real.
And this is where having no TP really does hurt you, because Karen France can't actually walk out to that bot lane without having his team need to give up their pressure in Baron. Because now Nerdy Pandas can just engage, and Karen France has no way of being there. He is going to be matched by Varivniv, who may look to end the game.
He potentially can end the game if he can kill the Rumble. I don't think they can back fast enough if they decide to engage. It looks like... No, instead they're just going to start hitting the Baron now. Yeah, Squirtle Squad has an inkling of what's happening.
Yeah.
It's burning down very quickly. Does not get the hook. That is going
He's
to be
going over.
Baron
No.
rumbled out. Oh, Mumu does go in. No. Ults connect. A little bit of a sombrero. Well, really just an umbrella there. And that is Gragas down, so this is a kill in return. This will potentially...
Oh, Nico down.
Yeah, that's brutal. Vladimir, though, does go down in return, so this could potentially be 3 kills. Nope. Nautilus flashes over. They decide to back. Zed and Rumble fighting. That is Zed ult down. Not quite enough yet. Zed leaves. He's just going to hit the Nexus. Turret does go down, and the Baron buff does come into play. That is... Well, honestly, Zed was out of there faster than a lawyer on tax day.
Yeah. No, they were able to actually secure the fight near Baron where Squirtle Squad, but what the damage was done to their base was far worse. Now, they lost 2 inhibitors and the Nexus turret, which means that it's going to be an open Nexus, and you know the Zed is going to be looking there to end the game. And Karen Fran's not going to be able to do much to stop that. He can avoid the death to the Zed, but...
There are no blue wards inside of their base, so they don't have to worry about a teleport backdoor. So really, the Sivir, her teleport's down. Vladimir teleport is up, but it's not really a threat. That's going to be an Elder Drake, though. This is second Elder. I should warn you now. This is second Elder. That hurts. Second Elder is a game-ending buff if they get it, which they will for free. And now Nerdy Pandas are set up to literally just like face roll their way. Like, is the only way I can put it.
Yeah, they're bursting at the seams right now.
base.
So the strategy here, if you're the Nerdy Pandas, to quickly close this out, is actually just to walk the minions up to the base. You know you don't need to take a team fight here because you can just bring so many Baroned up minions that Squirtle Squad can't actually deal with. They don't have good AoE wave clear aside from maybe the Amumu or the Ornana. You don't want Karen Friends to have to burn an Equalizer to defend one of these structures. So if you're Nerdy Pandas, you're just walking these Baron empowered creeps in here and looking for them to slowly take down the objectives while you stand by and watch.
Top wave is crashing right now, just as we speak. Bot lane already crashed, guided in by Zed. Zed is low, and he does not have a Guardian Angel, so he will go down in that engagement despite his Elder Drake.
Ooh, nice hook on a Vlad.
Vladimir is next, but that's a very good Zhonya's as well. Is not there in time to pull. They had a potential team fight advantage. They did not pull the trigger, though. That was a very scattered engage, and they have to back off.
Yeah.
Pandas, they had a chance there. That is an inhib, so that's a lot of minions going down. They still have some Baron buffs up as well.
Yeah, this is great from Squirtle Squad that they're able to win that fight, and honestly, it is a game-saving fight that they're able to win, but not going to realistically take anything off of that except for just continue to defend their base. So they've got 3 waves of supers pushing in, exposed Nexus, and they can't really do much with this lead other than go out into their jungle, maybe ward up a little bit, and wait for the next fight.
That's really pretty much all they can do. They can't even get wards very far in the jungle because that is still double minions. That is, Inhib does respawn bot side, so it does help them just a little bit, as it's not going to be double supers for very long. Just a wave. But they're still Baron on some champions. The Sivir is still very fed. This is a 6-item Sivir, so the 300 CS win condition has been met. And as you can see in bot side, Sivir just shreds waves and will shred carries.
Yeah. So Nerdy Pandas just need to wait a little bit. They've got Vladimir and Zed on their way up. They're going to do the same play over again, try and contest these open inhibs and see if they can knock them down and keep putting the pressure on Squirtle Squad. So we'll see how Squirtle Squad look to engage and try and stop them before they take these structures.
I honestly really think what they should be doing is throw some wave clear to the mid lane, push those 2 waves, try to crash all 3 at once, and then take your fight.
I don't know if Nerdy Pandas want this. They're down a couple of men. Vlad and Zed are not here. They're just going to lose the Nautilus for free.
Nope, Nautilus try to do what he can. The back line, Rumble, though, doing so much
but keep your eye on the Zed. Keep your eye on the Zed. He is going to go for the end on the base. Karen Friends does spot him out.
There, but that's a Rumble. Doesn't go for it. The fight, meanwhile, in the back, finally turned around as... Vladimir is there, Orianna very low. Sivir exists in this lane as well. That's a pull to avoid CC. Ooh, the Pop Blossom so close, but not quite there. Didn't want to feel like flashing for it. But Inhib goes down. That's still 4 members up. They don't have a Nautilus, but they do have a lot of damage. And Squirtle Squad is relatively low. Here come the bounces. Good spell shield. Mumu is considering it, doesn't hit anything. Everyone just shadows on out.
Yeah, Nerdy Panda's very comfortable taking that last inhibitor because of how many super creeps were in the base. Like, Squirtle Squad just couldn't respond to that inhibitor in an organized manner with how many minions were threatening the Nexus. So with 3 inhibitors down, we're back to square one, and Squirtle Squad now have to figure out how to win a fight with an inevitable Baron, which will be coming up in about 30 seconds here, that Nerdy Pandas should be picking up no problem.
Yep. Pretty much free Baron. Elder buff's already worn off here. Zed is doing Zed things. Trying to draw more pressure away from that pit. As their goal now is pretty much try to keep the double supers out of your base. But that's going to be very hard as some of these waves are going to get so delayed when they stack up that there'll be 3-4 supers coming in.
Yeah, they are
just to the base.
They do have to concede the Baron, but at least it does buy them a little bit of time for these inhibitors to come up. They've got 1 that's up. It's going to be the top side, so they know they're going to have to just sit here and wave clear. We'll see if they actually move out to try and contest this vision, but with Zed lurking in the bot lane, you can't send more than 2 or 3 out, otherwise he's going to just go in and end the game on his own.
Yeah, good few hits on the Nexus. The Nexus does not have very much health. If things start getting hits on it, you know, it's going to chip down slowly, and the Zed can end that Nexus in really a good, like, 30 seconds or less.
Baron's going to go down. No surprise here as Nerdy Pandas picked that one up. Squirtle Squad in no position to contest. Zed does have his GA up. They might try and look for the pick.
Yeah, they tried that. Zed does burn his Ghost Blade, but that's really all he burns, as they're not going to bother, and instead they're going to split a little bit and actually focus some attention onto the top side, where they got a 4-man unit waiting, and Zed's just free to do whatever he wants now as they draw almost all members up top. Zed's left pretty well alone
Yeah,
here.
and this is, I think, this is the best split I think the Nerdy Pandas can do. With the Zed lurking in the back lines, you could see how Squirtle Squad's members are, like, are jumping back and forth between the top and the bottom lane. They cannot let this Zed get access to the Nexus, but at the same time, they're going to try and defend their inhibitor, which is just going to go down anyways.
No engage found yet. Thresh literally using his body to absorb minion damage. It's basically PvE League of Legends here. Nerdy Pandas doesn't even really have to fight. That inhib does
Ooh, hook on Sivir.
That's an engage that goes in. Sivir explodes the Orianna damage.
That's one.
There's a potential fight. He does get it. That's an ult on 2. Gragas and Vladimir both use their Zhonyas. A lot of damage is in place. Hemoplague does go down. Vladimir very, very low here. That's a hook onto him.
Another hook.
Die in the process.
Oh, Zed in the back line.
The trigger, but yeah, Zed's in the back line, and he's basically just making life hell for him.
Another hook lands onto the Zed. Mycroft Holmes is playing out of his mind in these team fights as he's trying to keep his team alive. Riven is going to get taken down.
Does go down. Vladimir still up there. Gets that. Vladimir actually does go down, and now it's Nautilus who's left alive along with the Gragas.
Karen Fran's likely going to be able to run this kill down as Gragas is going to be the only one alive after this. But again, guys from Squirtle Squad coming up clutch again with the fight. Multiple hooks landed from Mycroft Holmes. Is able to pick off carries one by one. Keep Squirtle Squad in this game, but are they able to do anything here? They've got 4 dead on the enemy side, but is that enough to be able to step out of their base and challenge the Elder Dragon, which is now the 3rd dragon?
No, it is not. That fight keeps them alive, and I would like to point anyone, since we're making old game references here, if anyone remembers what CLG did last year with this kind of base defense, it is quite possible for them to hold. If Nerdy Pandas do lose a fight, and these inhibs come up, and they're close to coming up in general here, it's very likely to be game over. There is enough wave clear here. There's enough push. A lost fight on either team is the game.
Yeah. Just looking at chat here, unfortunately we cannot pull up the Elder Dragon and Baron timers. That is a feature that you can see in LCS or Pro Play because they've included it themselves in their production, not a feature of the Spectate, unfortunately. So we can't see those timers, but we do know the Elder is up and then Nerdy Pandas are on it.
3rd Elder Drake, by the way. 3rd Elder Drake. This is actually quite possibly one of the longest games we've had to split. We're almost approaching the hour mark, the 60-minute mark.
Ooh, maybe I can. Thank you, chat. Let's see if we can do this. Oh! Okay. Wait. Did this do anything? Where do I see that?
Nope.
Objective timers.
I don't see a dragon.
Yeah. Oh! Wait, it's down here. Interesting. How do I get that?
Oh, there we go. It's just over your map.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm trying to figure out how to like minimize the minimap. Let's try and bring
minimap scaling.
Ah, well that's just red and blue. Do I have to do the whole thing? Ah, man.
I don't know. I can see all the. You can toggle your vision.
Let's try this. Let's just go with this. Everything. Oh, here we go. Zanya's by Zishui.
That's a very, very damaged Orianna. They are going to go for another fight here. Quite possibly. Sivir pops the on the hunt. Doesn't really want to. They're just skirting in and out here, trying to slowly grind these inhibs down. But while they do this, more inhibs keep spawning. They're going to keep tapping that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a flash burn. That's a flay onto the Vladimir, but it's not going to be enough just yet. And inhib's going to go down on a couple of auto attacks here. Yep, that does go down. That's a hook.
Hook lands. Here's the fight.
Ult, but that's not going to be enough. Thresh is burning down very fast. Mumu gets his ult off, shuts down the Orianna. Double kill on the Gragas.
Yeah.
Kills in the back line.
And this looks like it's going to be it.
That's gone. That is only the Nico left to stop this fight, and she's going to get it. She's going to go down as Sivir gets a double kill, and that is GG.
Yeah. Wow.
Nerdy Pandas will go 2-0.
An exhausting game, a 56-minute slugfest, and finally the 3rd Elder Dragon is what it takes. Just too much damage from the burn. And Squirtle Squad, honestly, holding off for so long with their teamfight composition. Very well played to them, never giving up. And at the very end, they were taken down by the insane amount of damage buff coming from this Elder Dragon. And
Now, it's actually very rare, by the way, an assassin does much damage past the late game, but believe it or not, Zed has the most damage in the game at just a little, like just 90, like just like 90, 80, 89 short of 50,000 damage, guys.
yeah,
49, 911. That is an insane amount of work pulled by this assassin, by these carriers in general. It's very rare. You don't see a Sivir with the most damage in the game.
yeah, awesome stuff from these guys. Very well played, both teams. One of the toughest 2-0s that I've ever seen or been a part of. So with this, that does mean that Nerdy Pandas are going to clinch second spot in playoffs. So they are going to be the 2 seed going in. They will get to play the 3 seed, which will be determined later on at the end of the Ravenous Kumquats and Dandelion Knights game. So second seed and first seed are set. With the loss, that does now mean that Squirtle Squad do not have playoffs guaranteed. They are actually going to go into a potential 3-way tie. They're going to be at 3-7. And again, we do have to await the outcome of the final game, Kumquats versus the Dandelion Knights, to see what happens there. If either of those teams 2-0s the other, then unfortunately Squirtle Squad will not be able to make playoffs. So they've got to be rooting for a 1-1 in that situation. Because Paid by Steve is waiting in that potentially third, maybe fourth spot. So tough stuff for Squirtle Squad as they're not able to pick up a win here, but we will definitely going to try and bring you that that game between the Dandelion Knights and the Ravenous Kumquats. I believe that may be scheduled for Sunday, but that is going to decide essentially the bottom 4 seeds in playoffs. So that's going to be a huge one. We'll try and bring you that one on the cast as we're able to see the fate of Shurima be decided at the end of this week. So hopefully you guys are focusing on, hopefully you guys are keeping track of your own divisions and where the playoffs are setting up for those. We're sorry we haven't been able to bring you many casts here. So we haven't been able to keep up with how Noxus and Demacia and Ionia are doing in their divisions. But you guys get a little glimpse of Shurima and how close this playoff race is. So yeah. So Ansem says in the chat.
Go on.
Ansem says in the chat a 3-way tiebreaker. Yeah. So so the final match does have to go a 1-1, and then both teams or all 3 teams would be 3-7 then battling for that 4th spot. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, let's hope for some fun games when that's the last game goes down. All I can say is I've watched enough LEC and ULCS, and I love me some crazy tiebreakers. So
Yeah.
just hoping for the 1-1, more games to cast, and really just more exciting action in the Shrumia division.
Yeah.
And as just a reminder, guys, playoffs start for pretty much every other division in the next couple of weeks here. So keep your eyes out as we will try to bring you as much coverage as we can of season 0 of the casual EAL playoffs.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Well, for now, we are going to dip out of the stream, but thanks guys for tuning in. We got quite a lot of people able to enjoy this action, and it's been a while since we've been able to bring some games in, but now we can focus on the playoff races and see if we can show some games from each division as we move into playoffs. So we're trying to get games casted for all the playoffs, but sometimes these games are the more exciting ones. So tune in later in the week as we'll try to get some of these other games on stream for you. So, but for now, thank you viewers for watching, Derpmaster for joining me in the co-cast, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Seeing you next time as well. Good night, everyone.